never upgraded, man. It's the
And we are live. Welcome, welcome. You're here, but not here. No worries, Nutty. You'll be the first. You'll be the first one here. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here again for another session of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So, we are on well, session 2 of the D&D. So I'm just be one second here. I will catch up with these guys. They're being awfully noisy in my ears right now. So I need to make some adjustments to the audio. Audio video settings. Let's bring them down environment a little bit. Here we go. Right.
yeah, I'm with you on that. With you on that.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Right,
live?
guys, we are live
labels
on the
everybody's
evil live show. I think Twins live as well. Don't know about you. Don't know about Death or Mr. Mellis at this point.
I'm about to go live right now.
Sweet.
I've been live. I was running by starting soon, but now, hey, motherfuckers.
So there goes our monetization on YouTube.
Oh, are we supposed to do this?
I mean, I could run my sensor beep, but all the audience would ever hear be beep 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 whenever Malice talked. So they wouldn't get any story. All they'd be getting is beeping.
I'm proud of this.
Luckily, I don't give a shit about monetization on YouTube, so it's not a problem.
You really get banned for that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll
get demonetized?
Yeah, hell yeah. They've gotten
the F-bomb. I think it's like in the first. I think for 5 minutes or first. I don't know, some crazy crap like that. Like
they've gotten out of control with it. Like YouTube's demonetization sort of requirement guidelines are just super strict now. Super strict.
Did not know that.
That's horrible.
So just a quick thing with the dice roller on D&D Beyond. I don't know if you guys know, but the dice roller that we're using in the Discord, which is the Avray dice bot, was created by D&D Beyond and uses the same algorithms that the dice roller in D&D Beyond does, which is really freaking cool.
And like what does?
The dice roller bot that I'm using in the Discord is using the exact same algorithms and was created by D&D Beyond, so which is freaking cool.
Actually, the cool thing is so what I do with OBS is so OBS lets you add in your own docs. So I just do custom browser doc. 1 second.
But anywho, chat, we will be getting into a recap here very shortly. We're just waiting for everyone to be live and to sort out their end of stuff so we can make sure everyone's going to benefit.
Because there's a custom, like you can make your custom docs, and I just add it as a doc into OBS.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
So the roller's right there the whole time.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I'm going to be using the D&D Beyond roller today just because it's cool, and I think it works really well. I used it in my brother's game on Saturday last week. I used it on my own character sheet, and it worked really, really well. So
I look weird on my camera.
You look good to us.
Yeah, no, it's on my end. Hold on. I'm adjusting my
I need
my webcam on my stream.
Where is that link for all the chats?
It is in my bot.
Is that Discord or Skype? Did you drop it in?
I can put it into Skype. Give me a second.
Oh, I got it. It's the multi.
Yeah, the multi dot rare drop dot.
Yep, got it.
It's got all the list of names
Yeah.
here.
Let's see, I want to do. Boy, like I love it. Like my kid, like as I'm like getting started to do something, he decides to start asking me stuff. I was like, seriously, dude?
I got an 8-year-old here that I said, right, I'm starting streaming at 11 o'clock. You're not to make any noise. Go play the Xbox. And he's been on the Xbox for half an hour and I haven't heard a peep out of him. So it's been good.
That's dumb.
He's playing Minecraft, so he's having fun.
Well, that's good.
He goes into Minecraft creative and just fucks around, eh? But it's some of the shit that he's built is pretty crazy.
There it is. But I don't want the video.
Right, so chat, we have to give us a few moments here. We're just waiting on some technological stuff before we get started. Make sure everyone's up and running. If you do wish to catch up with all the streamers, I believe I made it a command as well. If I haven't, I will.
There it is. I'll be right back, guys.
No worries. Actually, I don't think I did, so I think I will.
I'm set up. I'm live already.
You're live, cool.
I got everybody. I'm making everybody custom labels right now. There we go.
So new command. Give me 1 second here. Exclamation point drop. Everyone active. We'll make a 2-second cooldown just cause. And save. So, guys in the chat, this will spam throughout the day, throughout the session, but if it's going to work, it's not going to work. Why is it not working?
I require a beverage.
Command exclamation point drop. Group NA everyone. Why did that not work?
Drinking wine out of a bottle.
No worries. Ah, that's why. You douche knuckle. I fucked up. That's why it's not been working. Wonder why it wasn't working the other day. Try that one. Here we go.
I'm back.
He's back. So there you go, chat. There is a link in the chat for you guys now that if you want to see all 4 streams from the different perspectives, go over to multi.redrop.co, follow that link there, and you should be able to get all 4 streamers in the same window. There are options, if you use a little drop down menu at the top, there are options to run different versions. Obviously have different streamer focused, have chat up, not have chat up if you just want to hear it, just run the volumes in the background. You can have volumes on all 4 streams or just on one stream, up to you. But I do believe it is when you are watching to that, you go to every streamer's view account, I believe. So, are we all ready?
Kinda.
I'm ready.
Kinda.
I'm just adding everybody's character names to the overlay, and then I'm done.
All right, we'll give Twin a few minutes. In the meantime, chat, does anyone have any questions about the players, about myself, about the game? We can give you another quick rundown on the players. We have the SPC, formerly the Savage Beast Co., still is kind of just abbreviated. Was a player in my original campaign, had to drop out for IRL stuff, has rejoined us for this campaign. We then have Mr. Deathvale on Mix, who is a mixer partner and streamer. Go check him out over there. Has joined us for this campaign. Complete noob when it comes to D&D, first time playing. Then we have Mr. Malus, formerly of Mixer, now on Twitch. Also a podcaster on the Roaming Self podcast. Soon to be the Bowl Show podcast as well, which will be starting here tomorrow morning for me. So make sure you come check that out, either both here on Evldoa TV and on Mr. Malice on Twitch as well. Then we have Twin Gats Gaming over there on the end, also new to D&D, never played before.
I'm green, like
very green, doesn't know much about the universe or anything like that. First time player, so definitely you guys hopefully having a lot of fun. We had a first session last week. It went very, very well. The role play was cool. You had a first taste of combat, which went very well. No one died, which is always good. And we will be picking up where we left off last week. So again, 3-hour sessions, guys, mainly because of children and things like that. I do have an 8-year-old running around the house here somewhere that I'm supposed to be entertaining. Normally he would be at school, so that won't be an issue for next week once he's back, but I have to finish at a particular time for when he gets home from school. So this is why we're only running 3-hour sessions. I would love to run a 4 to 5 hour session every week if I could, but it's just not possible. But we'll see. During school holidays, when he's at his father's, we may be able to extend it an hour, again, depending on other people as well. I mean, other people have things to do too.
Yes.
So,
I don't.
Yeah, well,
I have no
yeah,
life.
Me neither, normally.
I don't have a life. My life is just streaming and eating.
Dude, that's my life too. Streaming, eating, and painting minis. Speaking of which, I did paint some more minis over this week. Is it still here?
There's a bird.
So,
We need that.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Put this in front of it. My first attempt at painting a light source.
Oh, lovely.
So I don't know how much of that you can actually see in the
Not
camera.
much, honestly. It looks good, but not too much detail.
I can see
through.
the light on the wings a little
bright.
bit.
Yeah, I'll
Along
have
the
to
cam.
get on. Hang on. See if we switch the other cam here for a second. Might be better on there.
That would.
Yeah, guys. So things are different. Wednesdays I do D&D with my buddies and stuff. So enjoy.
My buddies.
He's not my buddy though. He's an asshole.
So you can see there, just messing
Oh,
around with
okay.
the light
I see
source
how it
from
is.
the fire spell.
Okay, yeah.
I know.
There we go.
So basically,
like
just messing around with a light source from the fireball spell. It didn't kind of work out exactly how I wanted it, but it was not bad. Not bad for the first attempt. So
Yeah, I
I'm going to
like
take
that.
your word for it because I couldn't see your camera switch, so I got your chat pulled up, not your stream.
well, you suck. We're going to need the stream pulled up if you want to have a battle cam later.
Oh, I'll pull it up for that. But right now I got the
Dude,
character
I
sheet
have-
pulled up. I got the chats pulled up. Skype on the other one.
I have like your stream part, like the chat box. I have that
Yeah.
display capped and like cropped. So people can see.
Yeah,
So
see,
I have it
like,
down,
I
and when it
generally
goes
don't
up, it's
even.
like,
I
there it
generally
is.
try not to look at chat when I'm D&Ding because I don't want to see what comments people are making because it's so easy to break character if someone makes a stupid comment in the chat.
Oh, I
Especially
agree.
during right in the middle of roleplay, we've had it happen a few times on the homebrew game where you're right in the middle of some reasonably serious roleplay moment, and someone says something pretty gruesome in the chat, and you just can't help. You just break character, just lose your shit. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh,
That's why I try to put. That's why I let everybody know like I gotta focus. Sorry if I don't pay attention.
Yep, I've got a spam running in the chat. It says that very thing, and then I try to ignore chat as much as possible. Well, not ignore chat, but just not focus on what they're saying too much. But it was where 1 second we should be able to get going. Twin Gats is pretty much done.
Yeah, I'm done.
So without further ado, guys, we're gonna get into tonight's session. Curse of Strahd campaign, my second campaign DMing. So we will get into our recap. Griftix, welcome to the chat, my friend. So we join a group of newly acquainted adventurers, battle weary after just completing a task for them for a noble Lord Ashwood to retrieve his prized horse from bandits that has plagued his lands. You return to familiar lands to camp and rest, where it was to be decided your next course of action. We moved around our campfire and we introduced our characters. We had our Dark Elf Ranger, we had our Half-Orc Fighter, we had a broody Elven Warlock, and our small bird folk barbarian. You then entered into sleep for the evening, went through a series of watches. Nothing much happened, but in the morning you awoke to find yourself somewhere different. Couldn't explain it. It was just unnaturally different to where you had been the night before. You then followed the road. After hearing a series of howls from you found a small path leading north, came to a muddy road. You followed that road for some time, and after a few hours you came to a large foreboding gate. Two large headless statues flanking either side of a large rusted iron gate. Yes, deciding to go for a fly to see if he could see anything, flew up into the mist, only to be forced back to the earth by the choking mists. Attempting to be less than truthful, was kind of caught out, saying that he'd seen someone opening the gate when there wasn't exactly. You then proceeded through the gates, heading deeper into the lands of Barovia. The map you'd found at the campsite with the letter of invitation. After a short while, you, Yas and Karis, caught the scent of death on the air. Following the scent of death, Karis discovered a mutilated body just off the road in the woods, with a note attached, sealed with a large wax seal with the large letter B on it. Opening this letter, you discovered a plea for help from seemingly a local from the village of Barovia. Once again, you are in the company of wolves. If you again, off the distance, you hear more howls than you did previously. Seems closer than before. Little discussion on whether to stay and fight or to continue on your journey. You decided to continue forth. After a short time, you came to a clearing the edge of the woods. You saw a pristine blue river which stood out against this dingy and dark background that is Barovia, the mists, the cloudy skies. But you pressed on, leading forth to the edge, the outskirts of what on the map is the village of Barovia. Deciding on what you were going to do, search for an inn, search for something, you discovered two children standing in the street, seeming distressed, one crying. You approached them, and after a short discussion, Karis decided that it was prudent for the group to enter this manor house to aid these children finding their lost brother, who was said to be on the 3rd floor, said to be a baby. Supposed monster locked in the basement as well. Upon entering the house, you did not hear a baby when you first entered. You did not hear any sounds of any kind of monster also. You proceeded into the main foyer, straight up the staircase to the 3rd floor, where you were told that the baby was situated. Upon reaching the 3rd floor balcony, you were attacked by a large dark plate suit of armor. Reached out to try to grab Karis, who dexterously moved out of the way, and combat ensued. You all took turns. No one really took any damage, and the suit of armor was defeated. With that, you proceeded through a southern doorway which led you into a dusty bedroom. And this is where we rejoin our characters. You find yourselves in this dusty old bedroom. Just to re-describe it for you guys. Dust and cobwebs shroud an elegantly appointed bedroom. You see a set of double doors set with panes of stained glass, which upon closer inspection looked to lead out into a balcony, and there was a single doorway standing next to that. The bedroom has a double bed, couple of side tables, couple of small windows either side of the table, and a fireplace. There is a closet on the opposite wall to the bed, and a large full-length standing mirror. So, players, what are we going to do? I believe, Karis, you had decided that you were going to go to the balcony and say something to the children, I think it was.
Shit. To ask them their name.
So you go to the balcony door, you push open the balcony door, and you step out onto the balcony and look down into the street below. Looking for the children which you left on the street, but you do not see them anymore. They're no longer there.
And that's when he realized he fucked up.
Yep. Oh man, this sucks.
Well, I'm gonna turn around to you guys. Guess what, fuckers? We're gonna have to take our steps cautiously, because somehow I think somebody wanted us here, and it wasn't the kids.
Where are we in conjunction to this?
You are all in the bedroom together. You've all sort of
Okay.
walked in. You walked in together when Karis first opened the door. What you see from where you're all standing, you're all sort of milling around the doorway. Karis is standing now at the double balcony door to the southern end of the room. And opposite him is a double bed. I would say you guys are probably sort of hanging around the main doorway, maybe just inside the room. To your immediate left is a full-length mirror. Dusty, like you could, if you wiped it down, you'd be able to see yourself in it. You don't really see much at the moment. It's very, very dusty, and it looks like this room hasn't been used for a long time. An ornate freestanding closet stands there as well next to that, and there's a single door on the same wall as the balcony doors.
Okay. Well, I'd like to look around the room and maybe search the area.
Okay, so if you want to have a look around the room, do a wisdom check for me. So for you, you will need to roll a d20 and add where are we? So perception +6 for you.
Okay. D20 +6.
Yeah.
22.
Whew. So as you look around the room, you wander around the room, and first you notice the bed. It's a nice looking bed, but again,
Thank you.
very dusty. Hasn't been used in a long time. You sort of scan around the room. You see the fireplace empty and cold. Again, thick layer of dust covering the mantle. You get to the ornate wardrobe, and you have a good look around the wardrobe, and it looks like a standard wardrobe / closet. You get to the mirror, however, and you notice that the frame of this full-length mirror is an ornate wood frame carved to look like ivy and berries. As you're looking at the frame, among the berries, you notice eyes turn and look at you
Yo.
from the frame, and where these berries should be is just a pair of eyes looking at you.
So there's a pair of eyes looking at me
Yeah.
through the frame of the mirror.
They're not moving. They just look like eyeballs. And as you scan around the rest of the frame, you see more. Like there's several different sets of eyeballs in the frame.
It's like another dimension. Let's see. What do you guys say we do with this this mirror here? What should we do? What's the next step? You want to check it out?
Do you wish to investigate the mirror further, or you want to leave it as it is?
Does somebody have a knife to stab the eyes to see if anything happens?
Yeah.
Somebody.
Considering breaking this mirror, because I'm pretty sketched out by what I saw looking in it. But I'm gonna turn to my mates and see what they want to do.
Well, ask them what they want to do.
Let's see, Grimgash. What do you suggest we do?
I would say, I want to break the mirror and see what happens.
You want to break the mirror?
And see what happens, but I know it's gonna be bad.
You don't know anything yet.
I want to poke an eye. Let me poke an eye.
You want to poke an eye?
Let me poke an eye.
What are you going to poke it? What are you going to poke it with?
More than one set.
My finger. I'm gonna poke it with my finger.
You're going to poke it with your finger. So make a. No, don't make a roll. You walk up to it, and you run your hand around down the frame, and then you just touch one of the eyes. As you touch the eye, it blinks. It just sort of blinks closed as you touch it, and you take your finger away, and it reopens, and then the set of eyes that you touched, they weren't looking directly at you at that point. They turn and look at you.
So those are actual eyes. They're actually moving.
Yeah, it seems like
I'm gonna pull one out. I'm gonna pull it out.
No.
You're gonna attempt to pull one out?
I'm gonna dig my finger in it and rip it out.
You did notice when you touched it, it didn't feel like an eyeball. It still feels like carved wood, but it's animated. So
I guess I'm gonna break the wood with my finger then.
Make a strength check for me.
Strength?
Strength check, yep. So D20 plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, that's gonna suck for me. 17.
17. You go to try and sort of pick out the eye. You stick your finger on it and you're trying to grab it and sort of scrape it out with your fingernail, but it's solid wood. Like I said, it looks animated, but as you touch it, you're just touching wood, but the eye's moving. Your knowledge as an arcane practitioner, you're getting the sense that this is some form of illusionary magic, or something to do with that. I mean, it looks like it's moving and alive, but it's definitely just carved wood.
Okay.
So I guess with that one, then I guess I can turn around and say, well, they look real. They just don't feel real.
Yeah, so it's definitely some type of some kind of magic here in this castle that's controlling even inanimate objects.
You're in a house, not a castle.
Yeah, we're in a house.
Oh, we're in the house.
You're in a manor house. It's
Did you drink before we came in here, chicken?
Yes.
God damn it!
I did drop him pretty high, so.
This is true. This is true. You did kind of fuck him up.
True.
Brain
I
damage.
hit my head coming down.
And he's missing a feather. So.
And no, I got the feather back, I think, right?
Yeah, but you can't just shove it up your ass and put it back in.
That's true. I'll hold on to it. It's in my pocket.
So what are we doing, guys?
We're moving on. I say we move on, guys. I say let's move on. Let's move on down the hall. I still want to see if there's a kid up here. I doubt there is because the kids are missing. So whether or not they might have gotten scared, they might have run off. We can't discount completely.
As you're discussing moving on, Karis, you're probably the first. You'll be the first to hear it. You hear the faint sort of burbling of a baby. Like, you know how babies sort of coo and burble in their sleep sometimes?
Yes.
You hear that coming from, it seems like it's coming from beyond the single doorway in this room.
Coming from where again?
There's a single doorway in the room,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much opposite where you guys are standing right now. And
The one that goes out into the hall?
nope, there is another single doorway
A
as you came in.
separate door?
Yeah. So you had
Oh,
you
wow.
had the doorway where you came in. Immediately to your right, probably 10 feet into the room, you had a single doorway. Then down that wall, you had the double doors leading out to the balcony. So there is another door in this room.
Okay. So, well, with that and what I just heard, if I'm the first one to hear it,
You were the only
I
one to
look
hear
at
it.
okay. I go, wait, shh. Did you hear that? Listen.
As you guys listen, you guys hear nothing. Karis, you hear that same noise again, but no one else hears it.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear nothing,
Yeah, I don't
man.
hear anything.
The room. The
What
door.
about-
I can sense some type of vibration, but I do not hear anything.
Shut up, chicken. That's just a fart.
Something in the air.
It sure the hell is. No, so I'd like to move towards the door and try to open it.
So as you reach for the handle, yes, you're still standing by the mirror, yeah? You haven't moved?
Yes. Yep, I have not moved.
As you reach for the handle to open this door, Karis, you're still hearing this sort of burbling baby from behind this door. Yes, you notice out the corner of your eye movement from inside the mirror. A ghostly figure, sort of hands on the mirror, looks in, presses its face against the glass, and then backs away and disappears.
Oh man, I'm freaked out. I just saw something in that mirror, guys. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like my uncle. After he'd been drinking too much. And my uncle's pretty scary, man. So I think we should get out of this room.
Do you proceed through the door, Karis?
Yes, I proceed through the door. I'm ignoring what's going on behind me, and my focus is 100% on that door.
You open the door. It squeaks loudly on its hinges. This door has not been opened in a long time. And as you open the door, you are confronted with a small nursery. The wallpaper, or painted walls, more than wallpaper, has sheep and unicorns and things sort of painted on the wall. There's a small crib in the back of this room towards the back wall. Has a small wooden mobile hanging over the top. And from your position, it's quite dim in this room. The curtain, or what's left of the curtain, is closed. The window is dusted over. But what light you do see a bundle wrapped up in the crib. But the moment you open that door, that sound stopped.
I move towards the crib. Slowly.
Again, looking around the room, it doesn't seem to be anything else in this room. You move towards the crib, and as you stand right up next to the crib now, and you look in, and indeed there is a wrapped bundle in the crib. You can't see a baby's face or anything. It seems to be sort of wrapped in a way that you can't really see anything, but it is in the shape of probably a 6 or an 8 month old baby, about that sort of size.
It's the age they get haunted and possessed.
My instinct tells me to pick up the bundle.
Before we carry on, what are the other guys doing? Did anyone follow Karis into the room, or you're waiting in the main room?
I'm standing like at the doorway.
Okay, so Grimgash, you followed Karis into the nursery.
Yeah, I say we all follow as well.
So
I'm
Dastat
kind of standing at the doorway.
standing at the doorway. So yes, you followed in as well. So Karis, your instincts, your paternal instincts sort of kick in, and you go to reach into the crib and pick up this baby. And as you touch the blanket, that's again, just to touch it, it's really musty and dirty. You hear a screech from the room behind you. "Don't touch my baby!" And Dastak, as you turn, a ghostly figure reveals itself from the mirror, comes out of the mirror into the room, turns and just screeches at you. A thin, bony figure in flowing greyish robes, translucent to, you can almost see right through her, but she's a little bit, she's almost corporeal, not 100%. And she sort of comes right up to your face, doesn't attack you, but gets right up into your face and just screeches like a banshee. And it's piercing. All you guys, it's a piercing, high-pitched screech.
We all hear it.
You all hear it.
Oh yeah.
I heard it. Cover my ears.
As soon as it's coming towards me, like I drop hands and knees, crawling backwards, like the other room.
So you drop and crawl back into the room?
I cower in the corner. I'm just a bird. Yeah.
Out of instinct, I turn around. I want to turn around and throw an Eldritch Blast, just like out of instinct, just like not even looking, just boom.
Shoo. Make an attack roll with disadvantage because you're spinning and sort of casting a spell and throwing it without really knowing your target. You're just doing it out of pure instinct. So 2d20s and take the lower. Yeah, 2d20s, take the lower.
Okay, and I'm adding on to that. Hold on a second.
So you add your to hit modifier.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the
which
page.
would be +5.
Yeah.
So yeah, so 2d20s, whatever the lower is, add your +5 to it, and that'll be your roll to hit.
14.
14. Where are we? Let's see what she's got. So yes, it does hit. Roll your damage for that.
Wait, one quick question. That's even with the ugly ass orc behind me?
I would say, well, depending on Grimgash, whereabouts were you standing? Were you standing directly behind Karis?
No, I wasn't directly behind him. As soon as that thing screamed, I like jumped out of the way.
Okay.
And shielded my ears with the scream.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so no one would have been in your line of sight. I mean, even Yash would have been off to one side, I would imagine.
Okay.
I think all of you have a sense enough not to line up right behind each other when entering a room. I mean, Grimgash has definitely more sense than that, and even Yash would be to that. So what damage does your Eldritch Blast do? That's force damage, isn't it? Should be force damage.
What am I rolling with? 20 and what?
No, you've already rolled to hit.
Yeah.
You need to roll your damage now, which is a D10.
That's right. Goddamn brain. All right.
It's all good. I got all your sheets up, so I can keep track of all your shit.
A 7.
A 7. So with that, we'll roll initiative as well. So I'll get everyone to roll initiative. So D20 plus your initiative modifier, which is at the top of your sheets underneath your proficiency. Most of you should be +1, except for Karis and Yas, which are 3 and 2, respectively.
So roll 1d20 +1.
Yes.
11.
17.
What's my initiative?
Yours is a +2. So Karis, what was yours?
17.
17. Yes, yours?
Mine was 8.
8. Grimgash.
11.
And Dastak.
5.
5? Jeez.
Yep. Where's the ranger?
So, with that, you fire off an instinctual Eldritch Blast as the shadowy, translucent figure reveals itself from the mirror and screeches loudly at you. Don't touch my baby, she screams. You stop what you're doing, turn and fire. You hit her with this force damage, and it sends her back maybe 5 feet. And then her face changes. It was the face of a thin young woman hair flowing, long and flowing in her spectral form, grey dress flowing backwards as well. The moment you hit her with that Eldritch Blast, her face turns from that of a young woman into a decayed, decrepit corpse, zombie-like woman's face now, flesh gone from one part of her face, still spectral in form, but now she's switched to a hideous looking creature. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please. So that'll be in your, for everyone, that'll be in your saving throws box at the top left of your character sheet, directly under your main stats. You'll see a box that says saving throws in it. Find the one that says wisdom, and you roll a d20 and add that modifier.
Alright, I got 0 on that, so.
So just roll just whatever the d20 is.
Yep.
If your wisdom's 4, it's d20 plus 4, right?
Yep. If it says +4 in that square box, so it's the square box directly below your main stats.
10.
10 for you, Dastak.
21.
What was yours, Dastak?
16.
16. 21 for Karis. Yes. What was yours?
23.
23. That's right. Yes, you've got a pretty high wisdom. So
Smart bird.
yes, Karis and Dastak, you will make your save. Grimgash, you've never seen a ghost, a spectre, any kind of creature like this before. You are now frightened of this creature. You cannot move forward against her, and any attacks against her have disadvantage.
Shit.
So with that, we now go into the initiative order, and we'll switch over to our battle map. So you guys are in this room here. We're going to remove the doorway. There. Have you here. So she's basically just come from the mirror. You guys are in the other room there. I haven't drawn the room in because it was an inconsequential room, but you're in that small room. It's only sort of 20 feet by 20 feet, so it's not very big. The doorway is in that blank section right there, so it's a single door. Karis, you've just turned and fired an Eldritch Blast through that doorway. She is still standing opposite the mirror. It is her turn first. She then screeches once more. It's high pitch screech as she moves forward and surges directly forward to you, Karis, because you're the one that attacked her. She is going to make an attack against you.
Aggro.
Do I get an attack of opportunity as she passes through?
No, you're on your hands and knees backing away into the room, as per what you said.
Forgot.
So she rolls. What does she roll? She rolls a 12 to hit. Does that hit you, Karis? What is your AC?
15.
So that misses. She strikes out with the fingernails like talons that you've noticed now. The fingernails are probably 2 or 3 inches long, massive, look razor sharp. She strikes out at you and misses, misjudging the distance. So she fails that attack. That's her movement. She's not really going to do anything else, but she screeches out again. So Grimgash, you're already frightened of her. So now that she's moved into the room, the only movement you can make is to move away from her. But if you do wish to attack, you can only do so at disadvantage. But any movement you make will have to be in the opposite direction to she is. You cannot, being frightened, you want to get away from her as quickly as possible. With that, it is Karras's turn next. Again, she screams at you to leave her baby alone.
Internally regretting what I did because it was out of reaction. Understanding the circumstance and now listening to what the Banshee is screaming. I want to try to diffuse the situation and talk to the Banshee.
What are you going to say?
I'm sorry. Please explain to us the situation. We were told that this baby was trapped here and we were sent to save it. What is happening?
Banshee, again, poised in the attack mode, looks at you. Roll a persuasion check for me. Actually, with disadvantage, because she's a spectre.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you did just fire an Eldritch Blast at her.
Yeah, but I mean, certain things do have to be, There it is, +3.
He was slightly startled.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
13.
13? I'll have to make a roll here as well, I think. So, with that, you watch the spectre sort of tilts her head to one side, and for a moment, the face changes back to that young woman, and blinks a couple of times, looks at you, looks around the room at the rest of the people in this room, and then looks sort of past you, seems like, and sees because as you went to sort of pick up the baby, you disturbed the blanket slightly when you rushed to turn and react. And
I'm just finding out about this now.
Her face, the mouth opens wide, and the face changes back to that of the spectre, and she just screeches at you again. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me once more, Karras. This scream is directed solely at you. It's still loud enough for all of you, but this is right in your face.
Of course. How is that I'm an elf with such a low wisdom? 20.
Is that a nat 20 or
Nice.
wisdom? Oh no, it's a dirty 20.
19 plus 1.
No, wisdom save, so it should have been +3.
Oh, oops, my bad.
Yeah, use this when asked for a save. It's the saving throws box, which is below your main stats.
All right, I re-rolled it. 21.
21. So 21, she screeches, that high-pitched screech right in your face, and you'd expect to have to feel the breath on your face, but there's nothing. It's really creepy. But you manage to stay off the horrific feeling that starts to sort of overwhelm you, and you manage to shake it off. Are you going to do anything else in your turn? Because you still have an action if you wish. She's in melee range with you, so you cannot use a spell.
I want to try to diffuse again if I can. I want to try,
I'll give you one more verbal action.
Throw my hands up and just please, right? That's it. And then one more throw.
No. She's just not going to do anything at this point. You've thrown your hands up and a pleading gesture and saying please, and she doesn't seem to be responding to you. So with that, Grimgash, it is your turn. You can make an attack from where you are. If we move this over slightly so you guys can see. So Grim...
Where am I placed at?
When I pointed, that's you there. The Banshee's right next to you, so you're on that side. So you can make an attack with her being that close, but it will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
But
I
when
would say
you move,
don't do anything threatening.
It's not your turn, Karras. You shut your face. You've said what you're going to say. Your 6 seconds is up.
Oh man.
Okay.
So based on what Karras has said, you've seen that Karras has thrown his hands up, pleading with the entity, not that he was sorry, didn't mean to do what he did. So based on that, you can now make your decision on what you want to do.
I would like to, even though I'm completely petrified.
You are
holding...
frightened.
Huh?
You are completely frightened of this entity.
Is she holding the blanket
No, she's
of the baby?
the
No.
Karis is between her and the crib.
Okay, can I go for the crib and get the baby and give it to her?
You can if you want. Is that what you
I
want
would
to try
like
and
to
do?
that. Yeah, I want to try and do that. I want to get the baby and try and hand it to her.
So as you sort of move around Karis, go to the end of the crib,
Yeah.
and as you reach into the crib and go to pick up the baby, you grab that blanket and expecting to find weight
I don't know.
in the blanket, but as you pick it up, the blanket unfurls and is empty. The moment
great.
the blanket unfurls in your hands, the spectre screeches out again in this ear-piercing screech and makes an attack against you, Grimgash. She will attack you. She will hit you with a 22. So you will take. You will take. Where is it? This is not going to be good for you, my friend.
Nope.
Oh, you're lucky I rolled low. So that you will take 5 points of necrotic damage. So on your character sheet, you go up to your hit points at the top right and just click anywhere in that box, and it'll pop up a box on the right hand side, which will give you a plus minus menu.
For damage?
Yep.
Or where is it?
So you just put the minus till you get to 5. So take 5 points of damage.
Wait, where does that?
So hang on a second. If we go,
Oh, that's the current, right? For hit points, so 5 points.
yes. So you click on current, reduce that by 5.
All right.
And you will also reduce your maximum hit points. Actually, no, you won't. Roll a Constitution save for me. So now you will roll a D20, and you'll look at your saving throws box at the top left of your character sheet. There'll be a small square box that says saving throws. Plus 4. So D20 plus 4.
Okay. 14.
14. So with that, you will save that Constitution saving throw. So you're lucky there. So you do not take in any further damage. But yeah, she rakes her claw-like talons across your shoulder as you grab this cloth that was what you thought was a baby is now just an unfilled blanket, and she opens up a real nasty wound just on the inside of your shoulder armor there.
Great.
And you can move if you wish now. Remember, you are frightened of her, so with her attacking you probably makes it more so. So whether you move or not is up to you.
I'd like to just move out of the way.
So you will have to move away from her. So you got 2 options. You can take move 10 feet back into the corner of the room, or you can move towards the door. If you move towards the door, she will get another attack on you.
Play dead. Just play dead.
Shut up, Karis. It's not your turn.
Let her float over you. Yeah.
I would just, I want to just not move towards the door. I would go the other way, so
You
I
move
don't
back.
take any further damage.
So you move back into the corner of the room, sort of backing away, blanket in hand, freaked out by this entity because you've never seen a ghost before or any kind of supernatural being, but also the fact that this screech has just gotten into your head and it's freaked you out. With that, yes, it is now your turn. So yes, you are standing on the opposite side of the entity, so that is you there. And
I'm frightened.
you're not frightened. You're okay. You saved on that throw, so you are not frightened by this entity. You've never seen a ghost before either, but you're a warrior. You're of stout constitution. Not much frightens you.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen entities like this back home before. But
Remember,
nothing like
you got
this.
6 seconds, dude.
All right, so let me roll.
What do you want to do? Do you want to attack? Do you want to move?
Yeah, so I'm gonna divert.
You're gonna move away?
Yep.
Which direction? You can move backwards towards the wall or towards the door.
So let me.
If you move towards if you move towards the door, she will get an attack of opportunity. So you move backwards towards the wall. which is about there. So you move away from her, backing away. Even though you're not frightened of her, you've sort of heeded what Karis has said. He's saying, trying to plead with her, and you're sort of moving back, trying not to antagonate the situation. We now move over to Dashtak. It is now your turn. You are on all fours on the ground, had been backing away from the door, so you are prone, so you need to use half your movement to get up, back to your feet.
Yep.
And what are you going to do?
I'm going to go out the door back into the room where we were.
Yep.
I'm going to stand up for half my movement.
So you can get to there with the remainder of your movement.
Okay. Am I within reach of that mirror?
You are. You can reach out and touch the mirror from where you are.
Can I take my rapier and like attack the mirror?
You can make an attack on the mirror if you wish.
Yeah,
roll to hit.
That is a
10.
Yep.
With that, you thrust forward with your rapier, and you do indeed strike the mirror, and it cracks. It doesn't break it, but it cracks. The spectre doesn't seem to take any notice of you.
Okay.
You need to move your mic a little closer, Savage. It's a little. You're cutting out a little bit.
Okay.
So is that your whole turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're now back at top of the round. It's now the Spectre's turn. She is focused solely on you now, Grimbriash. You are holding this blanket in your hands. She's still looking at you, Karis. Sort of, you can see almost like she's deciding who she wants to attack first. But she moves towards Grimgash. Karis, you will get an attack of opportunity as she moves out of your melee range. You get one melee attack. So whether if you don't have a melee weapon equipped, it'll be just your unarmed strike.
And who?
You do have your whip, which what's the range? It's 10 feet. You'd have to make an unarmed strike, so it'd be a D20 plus 3 to attack.
All right, let's do it. Screw it. 18.
That does hit, so it'll be 2 damage.
Oh, fun.
So you strike out as she leaves your range, and you do find purchase, which is kind of weird considering she's kind of a translucent to look at. But you do find purchase, and you do strike out and do some damage to her, and you hear that sort of breathy as you hit her. She then strikes out again at you, Grimgash, and misses this time. So you are lucky. She strikes forward and catches the wall behind you, leaves 4 deep lacerations in the wall, splintering wood and everything behind you, showering you with splinters. With that, Karis is back to your turn. Now, if you want to say anything, you can say something.
It's just a role playing. Sorry about that. Well, it seems the time for words is over.
It is.
Mm-hmm. So, hold on a second. Where's it doesn't show me the damage in my weapons. Hold on a second.
Yes, it does.
The max reach. Well, it does on full screen, not on half screen.
So you are currently, you have a crossbow on you, which I would say is probably strapped on your back at this point. You have your whip, your arcane focus or your whip be on your belt, and then your spells.
10. I'm gonna try the Toll of the Dead.
Toll of the Dead, so she needs to make a wisdom save. She rolls a natural 14, so she saves. Your spell does nothing.
Oh, fun.
So unfortunately, because it's a cantrip, if the save is made, she takes no damage. So you guys audibly hear this bell in the background as Karis raises her, holds his whip in his left hand and sort of mutters a couple of arcane words, and this bell rings out, church bell rings out, and the spectre sort of turns for a second, looks at you and hisses, but takes no damage. You have a bonus action and movement still.
Bonus action.
You don't. You can Misty Step as a bonus action if you wanted to, but probably not really applicable here. That's pretty much your only bonus action at this point, unless you wanted to say something.
Just attack with everything you've got. Everybody attack with everything you fucking got. We can't defuse it. Fucking kill it.
And with that, it is Grimgash. It is now your turn. You are now face to face with this creature. You are still frightened. You have the blanket in your hands. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm just gonna grab my great axe and try and hit it.
Okay, so you drop the blanket. You reach for your weapon. You strike forth. Roll to attack. You'll be rolling with disadvantage, so you need to roll 2 d20s.
Okay.
And take the lower.
Where's my attack at?
So it'll be your great axe attack, which will be +6.
Okay, roll 1d20.
Yep, so roll 1d20, do that twice.
+6. And do a roll 1d20 +6?
Yep, so do those twice and take the lower of the two. So your first roll is 15.
My second one is 18.
So the first is 15. 15, I believe, will still hit. So now you need to roll your damage, which is 1d12 +4.
Roll 1d12.
Yep,
plus 4.
Yep.
Right.
9 points of damage. 9. So you strike out, even though your mind is telling you just to run away from this thing. It is right in your face. It's freaking you out. You just instinctively strike out. And you do find purchase with your great axe. And she takes a reasonable amount of damage. She almost now, as she struck her, her form shifted and split. And you can see she's having trouble reforming. So her image sort of phases in and out a little bit, so she's not looking very good at all. With that is pretty much your turn. You can't really move anywhere because that would mean you'd have to move into her to move, so you're kind of stuck where you are. Yes, it is your turn.
All right. Does she notice me? Does she see me?
She's noticed everyone, but
okay.
You're on the opposite side of the room. You are probably 20 feet away from her at this point.
Okay. All right, let me, can I use both hand axes?
You generally dual wielding anyway.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So for you at the moment, I think you only have one attack in the action, so you can only use one at this point. You haven't got the ability to... Oh, you can use one as an action, one as a bonus action, so you can attack with both.
Okay, so I'm going to attack with both hand axes.
So you're going to run in...
And I still have rage active, right?
No, rage is gone. You'd have to re-rage if you wanted to rage in this combat. So you haven't rested yet, so at the moment you've already used one rage for this long rest. So you can rage again if you wish, otherwise you can choose not to, it's up to you. You don't have to rage.
Yeah, I'll save it.
We'll save it? Okay, so you rock into combat, you strike out with your first hand axe, which is your main hand, so roll a d20 +6.
Okay.
And tell me what you get.
23.
23, that does hit. So you'll roll a d6 +4 for your initial damage for your main hand.
9.
So 9 points of damage. You won't need to roll your second hit. As you strike forth with your... You guys... Karis, you watch Yas sort of streak across the room reasonably quickly for a bird. He's a small bird, but he moves really fast as well. But raises his hand axe high, strikes this spectre in the side of her sort of head and shoulder area, and strikes down through this entity. And with a sort of sigh and a sort of breathy sigh and hiss, the spectre is no more. Yes, you have destroyed.
Yes! They call me Yes.
You have destroyed this spectre, and with the spectre's destruction, Grimgash, your fear subsides the moment she is destroyed.
Oof.
And with that, we are out of combat.
What a battle.
And with that, I just lay my axe to my side and I just make a big sigh and I'm just like, I hate ghosts.
So you are now standing. You guys are now standing in a empty room. At Grim's feet is the blanket that had that was rolled up in the crib that looked like a baby. The sounds of the baby that you heard, Karis, you can hear no longer. Now all that you hear is just the sounds of the house. Wind sort of blowing in and around an abandoned house through the open balcony doors. This dusty room now silent. What are we going to do?
Karis, are we done helping little kids?
Never again.
You're gonna need, so you do that. You say something like that again. You're gonna need help. I did what was right. Everyone here did what was right. Nobody forced you inside this house. You made your own decision. Don't ever question my judgment.
Destek,
Did we follow through?
Yep.
make a perception check for me, just quickly.
That is the perception.
Yeah. You're breaking up still, dude. You need to speak up, man.
That's a 10.
10. So you sort of, with that, you're a little sort of, you're still quite intimidated by Karis. I mean, he intimidated you quite badly earlier, and you take his words on board. But you're still glancing around the room as he's speaking, and you notice where you attacked a mirror, a piece of mirror has fallen out, and something catches your eye from behind the mirror. You can't really see what it is, but there seems to be something there.
I poke it again.
Poke it again, because I won't make you roll to hit. As you sort of, again, you poke it with your rapier, and a larger chunk of mirror sort of drops out and ting 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 across the floor. And you noticed behind the mirror, it's not wall. It's a different type of timber, and you can see part of what the same crest that you saw above the family portrait at the top of the stairs. Or part of that crest. It looks like the Durst family crest.
Well, isn't that interesting?
You guys can't see this yet. You're in the other room. Only Dastak can see it. So whether he shares it or not, it's up to him.
Yeah.
I call Karis. Hey, Karis, come here.
What's up? What's going on? What'd you find?
Oh, there's crest. Family crest.
Yeah,
Behind the mirror.
you need to speak up, dude.
Who, me?
No,
me.
Savage keeps cutting out.
No, I heard him just fine.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Windows turned my microphone down.
It does that. My Windows has been doing the same lately. So
There we go. But yeah, they've I've just tried breaking the mirror, and when that thing was attacking you, and I'm starting to notice that was there. So
Smart
I
move,
don't
by the way.
understand why it's there.
It feels like it has something to do with something. Feels tied
Okay,
to the
so
house.
with my knowledge of magic and everything, is there some type of... Do I understand something about this that maybe they don't?
roll an Arcana check for me.
Oh, goddamn, explain that one to me.
So again, everything's in alphabetical order in your skills panel there. So at the top you'll have acrobatics, animal handling. There'll be Arcana, be the
there
third
it
one
is.
from the
Okay,
top.
yeah.
So for you it's plus
22.
2. 22. So your knowledge of the arcane arts. I mean, you know about magical incantations. You know about you could know about a certain amount of magical traps and runes and things like that. This to you doesn't look magical. It just looks like a family crest. I mean, if you can see a part of it through the break in the mirror, but you haven't revealed the whole thing yet, so you're not 100% sure. But it could be magical. You haven't really investigated close enough to determine at this point.
Can I rip the mirror off the wall? Kind of noticing that a little bit, just kind of like just...
Yeah, I'd say you won't need to make any kind of checks. It would take you a little bit of time, but between the four of you, if you were sharing information, it'd take you about 10 or 15 minutes to remove this full-length mirror from the wall. And as you remove it from the wall, you do, in fact, reveal a panel which is different than the rest of the wall, and it has the Durst family crest on it. There's also, what you do notice, a piece of parchment nailed to the wall as well.
Who's the first one to notice that?
Well, you'd probably all notice it. You're all sort of working together at this point.
So who wants to do the honors?
I'll take a look at it.
There you go. Go ahead, chicken.
I'm heading up.
So as so you're going to grab the parchment?
Yeah, I'll grab a look. I'll take a look at it.
So you grab it and you open it up, and it's in discernible handwriting. It's in common, so you're able to read it. And what it is it looks like it's a note of a small note, a paragraph or so, and it basically says, I fear for my life. I think she knows. I also fear for Walter's life. I found this door during my searches of the house. I think that Gustav and Elizabeth are up to something. I'm not entirely sure what. I also fear that the children, Thorn and Rosa, are also in danger. And that's pretty much what it said. Signed Irina at the bottom, by the way. Sorry.
So who else thinks that the shit already hit the fan and that's what we dealt with?
Oof. Yeah,
I think
I feel
somebody
like
killed the crazy bitch's kid.
that explains what we went through a little bit.
Also, yes, at the bottom of the note, you notice a small postscript, which is almost completely worn off at this point. Check the library.
Oh. Okay. All right, let's check the library.
Yes, did you read that out loud?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Did you read the note out loud, or did you just read it to yourself?
I read it out loud since everybody was
Okay.
waiting to see what it said.
So you've all heard that. You've all heard that there was a PS at the bottom saying all it just said was check the library.
Okay, well, I think we've gone this far. Might as well check the damn library.
Yep.
Yeah, I say we head out.
So do you want to leave this room? You're not going to check the panel in the wall. You're quite happy to leave this room at this point.
I'd like to check the panel.
Yeah,
Figured someone would.
definitely want to check the panel. I definitely want to check it.
Orc, just put your foot through it. See what happens.
Okay.
How do you want to check the panel? Do you literally want to put your foot through it, or you want to just
I
check
literally
it?
want to put my foot through it.
Okay, roll a strength
Stand up
check.
on the dresser
Roll
and
a strength
through
check
it.
for me.
All right. So is that
Jeez.
a D20 plus 3, right?
That is that will be a D20 plus your strength modifier. So the one at the top, yep. So plus 3.
Plus 3. That would be 9.
9. You line yourself up in front of this panel. You sort of figure the weakest point, and you take basically front kickboxing style. Take half a step forward and plant your foot in the center of this panel, and it cracks loudly, but it does not give. It's definitely cracked and broken, but it doesn't go completely through.
Well, can we check inside the cracks?
It hasn't like cracked fully through. Like you can see where the wood is pushed in and sort of buckled. There is a couple of it's almost like how to explain, like a shuttered window panel.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of reinforced, but it's pushed in and cracked, but not broken.
Can I grab my axe and
Sure can.
slam it through it? Let's do that.
Roll to hit. So just a D20 plus 6.
20 plus 6. 23.
Oh yeah. With your axe, I mean your foot weakened it somewhat, and with your axe you slam the axe into the same spot, and it just splinters this thing into pieces, and it all falls back into the wall, and what it reveals is a dusty staircase leading downwards.
Yeah, well,
Well, I think we found where
who
we're
wants to
going.
go first?
I'll go. Let's do it.
Diving through the
You're
rabbit
not
hole.
going to go to the library. You're going to go straight down the stairs.
We have
Alright,
to.
let's
We
go
have
to-
to go
alright,
down the
well.
stairs.
We don't have to.
It's open. It's right there. No, we have to. It's open. It's right there. Like,
Well, your funeral.
Hold on, I go. Wait.
I'm kidding.
Wait. Hold the phone. Alright.
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
I say we go right for the library.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
right
It
over
doesn't
library.
lead downwards. It leads up. I was wrong. I was mistaken. It reveals a cobweb-filled wooden staircase leading up.
I'm already going up. I'm diving through the hole.
Who was the first through the hole, Karis or Dastak?
I went through.
Okay, so
first.
you pretty much said it first. So,
We're going.
Alright.
Are we
can always go
deciding
back
as
to
a
the
group?
library.
I guess.
give me 1 second. 1 second here. 1 second.
All right.
I gotta remember where.
There
I've gotta.
better be something good down
I've gotta figure out where the hell you are.
Up there.
Up
Up
there.
there,
You're
I'm
going
sorry.
up there. So, as you sort of move through this small opening into the very narrow cobweb and dust-filled stairwell leading upwards, leads up to a 90-degree turn to your left. It is dark, so those of you with dark vision will be able to see in shades of grey in this area. Those that don't have dark vision will not be able to see much at all. You'll be able to sort of feel your way up. It's a very narrow hall. You get to the top of this corridor, and you find a closed door.
Okay.
So, do you want me to put my foot through that again?
Yes, please. Yes,
The
please.
left one this time.
The door. Does anyone want to try the door? It might be open, you know. I mean, come on, guys.
Alright,
You just want to
I
put.
went
You just
first,
want to
I
put.
went
Yeah,
first,
you
I'm
went
closest
first, so you're at the top. I mean, someone would have to push their way past you. You would have to allow them past to get past. So we have a marching order. It was Karis, Dastak. Who went up after Dastak? Was it Yas or Grim?
I did.
So Grim and then Yas. So Yas following up the rear.
All right,
So
I tried to
you're
do
in
it.
single file. So Karis, you would have reached the door first.
Okay, I try to open it.
So you try the handle and it's locked. There is a large padlock on this door.
Orc, come here.
All right, Karis, why don't you use some magic and try to open the lock with a blast?
Yes,
Think about
remember.
making less
Yes,
damage.
remember. You're a thief.
Yeah, right.
You,
so,
I'm pretty sure you have thieves' tools. In fact, yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
I do. I do.
As
Now
do,
I know.
as does Dastak.
I'm pretty familiar with opening these locks, so let me pull these out real quick.
So just
And,
make sure you let your party know that is your skill set.
Right.
All right, FC, let's go.
KFC. So do you allow Yas to move forward and attempt to pick the lock?
Yes, I do.
So yes, you pull out your lock picks. You've spent most of your life picking locks and thieving to stay alive and doing all these things. So you're pretty adept at these things. So you need to roll a d20, add your dexterity modifier to it, which is +2, and your proficiency modifier. So it's a d20 +4 total.
D20 plus 22.
22.
Right, right through that lock.
So you look at this lock and it's a big padlock, but you look at it and you think, easy. It's an easy lock, and the deftness of your hands and you just sort of put your lock picks in there, and in a few seconds you turn it and you hear an audible click, and the padlock falls open in your hand, and you sort of think to yourself, like taking candy from a baby. And do you swing the door open, or do you let someone else do that?
I'll open the door.
So you open the door, which leads into a large sort of open area. When I sort of... Oh, crap. I need to show you guys. Badoosh. So this here is the door you've come in from. You've just opened this door here on the right hand side of this picture. Yep. Leads into an open sort of our hall, if you will. As you walk in, it is again it's covered in dust and cobwebs. You see above you there's a doorway here. Several doors. There's four doors that you can see from your position.
Okay.
I'll put that back up in a second.
We move forward.
Just give me 1 second here. I need to see where you are on my other map. So from there you see a small window which is directly north of the doorway you just came through, which sort of looks out onto the back of the house. You see 4 single doors that are all closed. So basically your choice which direction you wish to go to, which door you want to check first.
So I look back at Grimgash, Karis, Dastak, and ask them if they want to continue forward, because this looks like quite the maze.
Let's go to the south door.
You want to go the south door first?
Yeah.
Everyone
Do
in
you have a
agreement?
map where these doors are at?
I'll bring it back up in a second.
There was 3 to the north.
You want to pick a door?
Northwest, there's 3
The
doors, and then there's one to the south.
So you had 2 doors in the northernmost wall, and then you had a small alcove which had a door opposite one of those other doors, and then a door to the south.
You want to go to the door to the south?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. More than likely, it's
okay.
most
do it.
isolated, far away from
Okay.
everything.
So you want to go
Let's
to
do
that
it.
one? Okay, so
go
you
there.
head to the southernmost door. I just got to remember where you are, which is number 17. Which is that room. So, you find yourselves in another small bedroom. Again, dust-choked room contains a slender single bed, nightstand, small iron stove, and a writing desk with a stool. An empty closet and a rocking chair. There's a small doll sitting in the window box, cobwebs draping over it like a wedding veil.
Huh.
And I'll give you a map reference for this room in just a second.
Daz, it looks like we found where you're sleeping.
So this is pretty much what you
I
see.
gotta sit here, all right? Without breaking Grimgatch's
So-
other foot.
You've come in the top section of this particular room. You walk in, you come across the desk first. There is a single bed with a nightstand. There is a small wood-burning stove, an empty wardrobe. The doors are sort of open and hanging off their hinges. Rocking chair in that far corner by the window, and on the window box is just a small child's toy, a small doll that has cobwebs draping over it. It's been, again, this room doesn't look like it's been used in a long time.
All right.
Hmm.
Interesting paraphernalia.
So is it like a doll, like a girl's looking doll?
Yeah. It's a female doll. It's got long, sort of golden, ringlety hair, and it's
This
very
could be the
dusty and old.
children's room.
Okay.
All right.
This could be where those kids were from. Who?
I like to check the desk.
Want to check the desk? Roll a investigation check for me.
All right. My investigation is where's
So on your sheet,
Oh, it's
it'll be and in your skills panel, it's all in alphabetical order.
yeah. All right, so 1d20 plus 2.
Yep.
Plus 2. Be 18.
18. So as you search the desk, you find another piece of parchment. This time, it looks like it might be a page from a journal. And it states, there is a date on there which is unfamiliar. It's kind of almost worn off, but then below that it just reads, Elizabeth is obsessed with youth and immortality. She keeps going on about the Dark Lord of these lands, and that we need to appease him so that he can gift us his dark gift. I myself are more concerned with wealth and my love, Irina. She bears my child. I know Elizabeth will not be happy when she finds out. Rosa and Thorn have been locked in the attic again, while Elizabeth continues her cultist rites, luring travelers to our home, leading them to the basement to be slaughtered like cattle. And that's just a single page, and that was the end of that excerpt.
Well then. Did I read that out loud?
It's up to you.
Read that out loud. I read that out loud. Well, this was a trap all along.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
We know.
At least we're not in the basement.
Yeah.
Am I the only one curious about what goes on in the basement?
No.
Absolutely not.
I think that's where we cook the chicken for dinner.
That's also where the children said the monster was trapped as well.
Yes.
Well, maybe this monster is actually their mom.
Who knows?
Or
We don't know that.
this Elizabeth lady that, you know, maybe that's this whole thing is we're supposed to come here and kill Elizabeth, and Irina is the one that was in the mirror because of her baby, and the children are the ones that were locked in the attic. And this must
It
be
makes
the note
sense.
from the father.
Yeah.
It
There's
makes
so many
sense.
theories.
Well, that note kind
It's a
of
good theory.
summed it up for me.
Hmm. I don't know.
So
You
we're
guys want to go
built-
check the basement, or do you want to investigate further here?
I'd say right now leave the doll alone.
Yeah, I mean we put together most of what's going on here. So there's really only one place we.
Wait, so nobody's touching the doll?
I'm
I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm gonna pick it up.
All right, go for it.
Do you walk over and pick up the doll?
Yes, I do.
Well,
So
he's touching the when he's going for the doll, I go for the nightstand.
okay, so you go for the nightstand. I'll get you to roll another investigation check for the nightstand. And Karis, as you pick up the doll, you hear children laughing from outside the room. Again, only you hear this. No one else hears it. You hear children's laughter. A girl and a boy, very distinctive, different laughs. The girl sounds older. You sort of it's that playful laughter, and you hear the girls sort of go, "Oh, Thorn, behave," and you hear laughter again, and it sounds like it's coming. It's definitely not coming from in this room. It's coming from somewhere else.
Do I have a direction just outside of the room?
It's just outside of the room. You could probably, if you were wanting to follow the sound the way that you sort of hear it, it would lead you back out into the hall. So Grimgash, what was your investigation of the nightstand?
It's going to be. What did happen? Where'd it go? What the hell? Oh, I'm dumb. Hold on. Roll. D20. And that would be +2 again.
Yep.
22.
22. So you going through the nightstand and you find another piece of the same journal paper. This has a different entry in it. This one, if you read it, are you going to read it out loud or are you going to read it to yourself?
I read it out loud.
So you find this journal entry again, and it states at the top, this will be my final entry. Elizabeth has discovered my affair and has discovered that Walter is mine. Her obsessions have turned her insane with jealousy. Last night she murdered Irina. She took the baby. I'm not sure where. I assume the basement. I'm not long for this world. I fear that our Lord is not happy with what has transpired here this night. And and the short sort of just sort of a dot at the bottom of the page. I also fear for my children, Rosa and Thorn, but I am in no state to help them, and that was what was on that page.
I think we helped her children, and I wonder if that was the mother who we battled.
I don't think so.
No.
Neither
I
do
don't
I.
think that was the monster. I think that was the mother of the baby. The one who
Yeah,
was
the
hurt.
mother. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Which is
No,
why
no.
I tried pleading with the spirit.
Once again, Karis, you hear children's laughter and playing sounds from outside the room, and it's drawing you towards one of the other rooms and off this hall, which is the
I
room
go to investigate.
the room directly to the north.
And that's where they see me walking.
Yeah, so you guys watch as Karis sort of seemingly inside his own head for a moment leaves the room and heads back into the hall. Does anyone follow?
I don't
Chris,
know.
where are you going?
Yeah, we.
I just keep
Let's
walking.
ask him where he's going.
And do you say anything, Karis, or you just keep walking?
I don't say anything. I just keep walking. I'm in my own head.
So, yeah. So Karis just doesn't say a word and continues to walk.
I'm going to follow. I'm just gonna keep good 5-10 feet between us.
Cool. Anyone else?
Yeah, I
I
guess
did-
we all go together. Yeah.
Wait a minute, did Karis investigate the doll already?
He's got the doll in his hand still.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, then I follow, but I'm also keeping
A healthy
Distance.
distance.
A healthy
a
distance.
healthy distance. Basically, a very
Distance.
I'm keeping a very militaristic.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on guard.
You
Okay.
especially after the events of this,
Social
the
distancing right
events that have just
Yeah.
transpired. You, yeah, you're definitely on guard and are more aware of your surroundings now.
Yeah.
So, Karis, as you approach this door, you hear voices coming from inside, and the same voices of the two children that you spoke to only probably 2 or 3 hours ago outside of this house.
I try to open the door.
The door is locked.
What kind of lock is on it?
It's just a standard key lock, from what you can tell.
KFC, come here,
I'm gonna open this thing for you.
please.
Only if you stop calling me a chicken. I'm an Aarakocra. It's the only way I'll do it. The only way.
I'll call you a cock. How's that?
That's even worse. Call me Yas. All right. I'll open it.
So D20 plus Dex plus your proficiency. So
D20 plus
Plus-
Dex.
yep. So your dexterity modifier, which is at the top of your sheet, and your proficiency modifier, which is also at the top of your sheet.
Okay.
So it should be +4, I
Okay.
believe.
Yep. Uh, 10.
This lock was a little more difficult, but it's a simple enough lock, and you are able to pick the lock and unlock it. Karis, the moment the door is unlocked, you get just an uncontrollable urge to go into the room immediately without sort of thanking him or anything. You just push past him and into the room. The moment the door opens, the sound stops. You can no longer hear the children laughing and playing, but what you are greeted with is two small skeletons lying in the middle of this room, wearing tattered clothing that you recognize from the children you previously spoke with out on the street. The small skeleton that you would assume would have been Thorn's skeleton cradles the stuffed doll that is no longer in your hands. The toy chest across the room, it looks like it's full of stuffed toys. Is also a very intricate doll's house, which looks identical to the house you're now standing in. And I'll give you a reference map just momentarily of what you now see. So you have the two small beds either side, two skeletons lying in the center of the room in their tattered clothes. They are holding each other. They were... Thorn looks like, the smaller of the two, Thorn looks like to be cradled in his older sister's arms. The small chest, which is open, looks like it's piled with soft toys. And to the left-hand side there, you've got a three-story doll's house. Really intricate, really well designed, really well carved. Even though it's dusty and old, you can see it looks identical to the house that you're now in. And before we do anything, we're going to take a break.
Okay. God damn it.
That's a funky room.
So we will leave that. Yeah, so we're going to take a small 5 or 10 minute break, guys. We're just going to grab a drink, bio break, and then we'll come back and I'll re-describe what the characters see, and we'll then get into the remainder of the show. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes left to go. So bear with us. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, today, wherever you are from in the world. We will be right back. Right, I am back, people. Let's give these other guys a chance to grab something to eat and drink and do their thing. Excuse me. I was turned Savage's camera off for a second while he's showing his lounge. But Kefir, welcome. Guys, Yanti shouted out Kefir Paint Studios. If you're looking for someone to watch who does amazing miniature painting, go check out Kefir Paint Studios. Chuck him a follow, chuck him a sub if you can. He is an amazing dude. I've been hanging out with him at night after my streams and after I've been doing some stuff. Does some amazing stuff. He's I think he's got a giveaway running at the moment where he's giving away some dice, a beholder that he's painted, and then some D&D related stuff as well. puts my beholder to shame. Seriously, amazing artist. But definitely go check him out. He does commission work as well. So if you want some custom miniatures painted, hit him up. But again, as well, the Lost Chapters. These guys we normally raid after our Sunday campaign on a Sunday night. They've been doing the Curse of Strahd as well, which is, it's kind of them that prompted me to look at a Curse of Strahd campaign, because I love my horror. Obviously, I'm a complete horror nut. So to do the Curse of Strahd campaign was a given. So I kind of had to do it. But it looks like these guys are back. Was waiting on Twin.
What happened to me?
Nothing happened to you. I turned you off just for a moment.
Oh.
But yeah.
There's a link that I just put in chat. You guys can view everyone's stream all at once. View counts go towards everybody. So just letting you guys know.
Yes, Yanti, can you put an exclamation point drop into the chat, please?
Like, you can view all the streamers and stuff that are in this whole campaign.
And I've posted the same link in my chat. So go to reddrop.co, guys, multi.reddrops.co. There is, you can watch multiple streamers from multiple platforms. So the link that we've dropped in the chats will give you the four of us that are currently streaming. Go hit them up with a follow. Make sure you go check them out on their independent streams as well. Malice streams here on Twitch. Does artwork, does a podcast, things like that. Twin Gats is here on Twitch as well, does multitudes of gaming, does a bit of Halo, does Valorant, does all sorts of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
He played some Halo 2 this morning. And Mr. Deathvale over on the Mixer, make sure you go check him out. Variety streamer, does a lot of things, a lot of music lately. Rocksmith 2014. Yes. Amazing musician, love his band, Nectarfile band. Go check him out. Make sure you give them some support as well. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, same time as today, for you guys in the OC region, we're doing the Baal show. Malice and I are doing reviving an old show that we used to do on Mixer a couple of years ago. 90-minute show, live show podcast. Pretty much everything about the old alternate culture, goth culture, horror, music, movies, bit of everything. Gaming, D&D, we're going to touch on a lot of stuff. Zero politics. There's going to be no politics at all in this particular show. This is just about us, what we believe in, what we get into as far as our lifestyle and that's concerned, and pretty much it's designed for everyone of that alternate lifestyle. The non-norms, let's put it that way.
No normies.
No normies. No, not that we discriminate against normies. I mean, we love the normies too.
I'm not allowed.
We don't discriminate against the normies, but it's more just about our culture. The way, I mean, a lot of us have grown up sort of as nerds and outcasts, growing up through teenage years, dressing differently, listening to different music, and it's just about that. So we're going to be hopefully having some special guests joining us. Deathvale will be joining us at some stage, talking about his band and all that sort of stuff as well. And we'll be looking at other bands and other band members hopefully at some point. I will be talking about my time as a musician as well. I was also in a band for a number of years, talking about our music and what we did at some point. So definitely come and hang out with us for that. So it'll be every Friday morning New Zealand time. It'll be Thursday night for you guys in the US. So the exact same time as this show, just on the following night. So Wednesday night's D&D, Thursday night's a Baal show. So come and hang out, check us out. And it'll be on both my channel and Malice's channel. So definitely you'll be able to watch both those channels in multi-red drop. You can watch them both in the same window. Show the support, show the love. So without further ado, we will get back.
Wait, before anything, all right, Malice, fuck you.
What?
You know, when you guys were egging me on to play Cliffs of Dover, okay, and I decided to practice it, like, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I
saw the Twitter post.
Fucked up my finger on it.
Did you not see the Twitter post, Malice?
I saw that.
It completely shredded
that
my
looked
little
painful.
finger. Dude, it was like super raw. It's healing now, so I can actually play now, but I can't do like any hybrid picking, which sucks. But, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to challenge your ass. That was it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
That was a good
And
challenge too, man.
I learned some of the song and everything, so I'm excited to play it. But yeah, like I have to heal now, so thank you.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't understand
Oh,
what
boy.
he's talking about, Death Veil, when you're a musician and you play a lot, you get calluses on your fingers from your playing fingers. He lost a callus; it came off, and it's painful.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while, huh?
No, it'll take a few days. Like
That's it.
usually
Dave?
like for my calluses on my fretting hand, like they'll fall off and I can endure the pain. I can go through it. But like this is on my picking hand.
They're trying to hold
Okay,
a pick.
so and this is it completely ripped it raw. You know, so it's like
You gotta
completely
build
fresh
that
and
skin up.
everything.
it was
So
nasty.
even if I were to like run my hand through like my beard or anything like that, it would hurt. It's like a
Oh, yeah.
razor blade.
Yep.
So I had to bandage it up, but now it's healing finally.
Right.
I'm
So with
sorry.
that,
I'm sorry.
we will get back into the role play.
Okay, so back into it. So we're in the room.
So you're in the
Two
room.
skeletons.
You have
Yep.
the two small skeletons of these two children. Why is that reverted? It's gone opposite way. God damn it! Give me a second. I just got to turn this around because it's made my image go the other way. Oh, let's close the program. Save changes. No. Reopen. Sorry about this, guys. It turned my picture around and made it mirrored. Can't have that.
Oof.
Right, so you are Karis, you're the first to see this. The rest of you probably haven't walked into the room as yet. Karis is sort of standing in the doorway, blocking the door. So Karis, you are faced with this. It's not gruesome because, I mean, they've obviously been here a long time, so that they are completely skeletal. Like I said, Thorn, now that you know the children's names, Thorn has been cradled in Rosa's arms. He's holding the doll that you just picked up from the other room, which is now no longer in your hands, but it's in Thorn's arms. The two small beds, everything's covered in dust and cobwebs. The chests are sort of overflowing with soft toys and such, like almost like someone was rifling through it. And this intricate dollhouse.
What I'd like to do is move forward and caress the skulls.
So you move forward into the room, you drop to your knees. Do the rest of you follow in after him as he moves in?
No.
No?
I'm not.
I'm not caressing skulls. No.
You don't need to caress
No,
skulls.
no,
Do you follow Karis in?
Falling behind me, you see
Yeah.
me doing this.
Do you follow Karis into the room, or do you wait outside?
No, I'm gonna wait.
I go with Karis in the room.
So, Karis, you walk into the center of the room where the skull is. You drop to your knees, and you just sort of run your hand gently over each skull, and you have a sense of dread and horror at what you've just found. Obviously, you've found two small children that have obviously starved to death behind closed doors. I mean, that much is pretty plain to see. I mean, the door was locked from the outside. They had no way of getting out, and they've obviously died here. And whoever walked into the room with Karis, you just see him drop to his knees, and he doesn't sob openly, but he is definitely in some form of state right now, just touching the skulls.
I look over to Karis, seeing him cradling the skulls, and I observe I start to. I tell them we need to bury them.
Okay.
And I agree.
And I pursue to go to the the chest and I try to investigate.
Okay, you want to investigate the chest. So as you go over to the small chest and sort of start moving a few of the toys and that out of the way, you then behind you hear a familiar voice. Don't touch my toys. That's mine. Leave it. And you turn, and behind you is standing Thorn and Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And Thorn is quite distraught that you're touching his toys. But this time they don't look the same as they did outside. But they are wearing the same clothes, but this time they are more ghostly looking. You can tell now that they are ghosts. And Rosa sort of says, please don't touch the toys. He doesn't like it when you play with his toys.
Okay. I put down the toys. I stop rummaging.
Do I hear this?
And
Everyone hears it. You all sort of hear it and turn, and you see them standing there.
And I turn over. I tell them what happened. Or I ask them. I mean.
Rosa sort of looks at Thorn and sort of puts her arm around her younger brother, and he's still weeping. You can sort of see that he's sort of sobbing still. Mother locked us in here quite often when I'm not sure what they were doing, but a couple of times a week they would lock us in here so that we wouldn't hurt ourselves, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but we died here. We starved. She locked us in here one night and never came back, and we heard fathers screaming, and then the scream stopped, and that was it. That was. And she sort of looks down there, and you can see they're both very sad about it. But they know they're dead.
And then, by mother, do you mean Elizabeth?
Yes, Elizabeth Durst. That is our mother, yes. And our father, Gustav Durst.
Do you want us to put you to rest?
We cannot leave this place. The house. Well,
can we free you from this place?
I suppose that if you were to bury our corpses or our bones, we would find some peace, yes. But the house won't let you leave.
Can we burn them?
I don't.
Burn the
What
bones?
do you mean the house won't let us leave?
Like, what if
the
we
house. You cannot
can we burn
leave.
them to release them?
You would have to destroy the monster before the house will let you leave. Many have tried.
We'll destroy the monster.
Many have tried.
Yeah.
Oh, we will destroy the monster. Don't worry.
But
about
don't
that.
leave us though. We're frightened. You can't. Don't leave us.
Come with us.
Well,
If you
we're
must.
not. We can't go to the basement. No, the monster's down there, and you can see she's visibly frightened. And Thorn sort of hides behind her, sobbing, behind her jacket. But there's a secret in the attic. If you have a look at the doll's house, it's exactly like this house. There is a secret. You need to find the secret. It's a way to get to the basement.
I'll open the dollhouse.
So roll an investigation on the doll's house.
Yay!
I'll help him.
Roll with advantage, because Dastak is aiding you. So roll 2d20s.
Okay.
So roll your investigation check twice and take the higher of the two.
on a second. 18.
Am I outside of this room?
Well, that was up to you. I mean, you decide where you're going to be, whether you're going to be in the room or out of the room.
Okay.
So if
Yeah,
you're in the room, you can hear
so-
all this as well. If you're outside the room, you probably wouldn't. You'd hear bits and pieces, but you wouldn't hear the whole lot.
Right.
Yeah, like once I heard once I heard the kids and everything, I kind of like entered the conversation kind of thing.
So with that investigation, you sort of open the doll's house. It's one of those doll's houses. The front opens up like barn doors, and the ceiling lifts off on a hinge as well. So you open the front and you open the hinge, and Rosa sort of, at this point, puts her brother, sitting him down on the bed, and walks over to you and sort of points at different parts of the house and sort of points at the first floor and says, well, that's the dining hall, and that's the den, and the second floor, she points out the spiral staircase and the different parts of the second floor. She goes through, and the second floor, she goes, on the second floor we have the conservatory, which where the mother and father held like balls and dances and things. There's a spare bedroom and another, and the library's on that floor. And then she shows you the attic floor. She says, and this is where our bedroom is, and next across the hall is a spare bedroom. There's like another bedroom next to us, and that big room, if you go out of our door and go to your right and across the hall, there's a big room. That's where the secret is. And she points to the wall in the north of that room, and she says, there's a secret door right there that leads to the basement. And the room she is talking about, she calls the storage room. It's got old chairs and coat racks and mannequins and things. It's all covered with sheets.
The storage room leads to the basement?
There's a secret door, and that leads to a staircase that goes down to the basement. Thorn and I found it a few weeks before Mother locked us in here the last time.
Well, then I say we go find this secret door, go to the basement, take care of this monster, this so-called monster, as apparently we won't be able to leave until it's terminated.
Karis,
Work our way
to
to...
the library, though.
I want to ask
We'll
the
work-
kids, do you know anything of if are there any weaknesses against the monster?
Well, we've never seen the monster. We've just heard it. I mean, we know our father, in his screams of anguish, said he'd trapped the monster in the basement. It's all we know. We don't
When
go down to
I
the
catch up
basement.
with the group, I'll make my way back into the room
Okay.
and follow them.
Me and Thorn don't
Okay.
go down to the basement. No, it's too scary down there.
Where's the library on the dollhouse?
It's on the second floor.
Can she point exactly where it is?
Yes, she's showed you exactly where all these rooms are.
Okay. So I say, because we can't leave this house until whatever's in the basement is taken care of, we take care of whatever we find in the basement. From there, we work our way up to the library, come back to the attic, take the bodies, and then bury them. In that order. Because we can go directly to the basement from this room, from the storage room, through the secret door in the storage room. It's right there.
So take
Yeah.
care of the monster first.
Yeah.
In the basement.
But
Okay.
what if this thing that was mentioned in the library is the only way to kill them?
Somehow I highly doubt that.
Well, it did say check the library.
That's what I'm
True.
doing.
On the
And
way
we
to
have
get
no
up
we
here.
have no idea. We have no idea what's in the library. We have no idea if it's a waste of time. And right now we do know that we will not be able to leave this house until what's in the basement is taken care of. Check the library. I could tell you to go check the toilet right now. That doesn't mean that there's a magic wand in it.
Sure.
I mean, the library could have just been more information about.
We
what
will
was
check the
happening.
library. We will check it. But I say the
Right.
imperative point now is to take care of what is keeping us here and what is terrifying these spirits.
I mean, everything's pointing us to the monster, so I say we go with the flow.
Okay.
We need more research on this monster.
I think it's pretty
'Cause
clear
if-
what the
if-
monster is.
Because if we go full bore, we will know what its weaknesses are or anything. And from my military background, we always figure out what our enemy's weaknesses are.
Well, you fought a
Do
specter
we
today.
know what the monster
threw-
is yet?
You threw your axe. You didn't know what its weakness was, but it worked pretty well. So far, there, orc, your luck is up. And I say
Okay.
you roll with it. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Alrighty.
I mean, how many doors can we open before we're too weak to eventually fight this thing?
True. Very true.
Grimgash, how are your wounds?
Well, they're there.
So by this point, you guys, you've probably been in the house now, probably coming up on your 4th hour. By the time you've investigated sort of these rooms and done the battles and sat here and talked to the children for a time, and the investigations on the dollhouse, it's getting pretty late in the day. So you're all starting to feel
Take a break.
a little tired. You have taken some damage. You do know you're not entirely sure what you're going to come up against. You do know that if you were indeed, I mean, especially you, Grim, you would know that you're going to need to rest sometime soon to regain some health back, regain some energy and strength, because no one's any good if they can't fight,
Yeah.
especially if you're exhausted.
Okay, well, how about we rest and then we go take care of the monster? Well, that way we're at full health. Or we're in good health.
So you've got two options here. You can take a short rest, which is an hour, in which you can use what is called your hit dice to recover some hit points back. Or you can take a long rest, which is an 8-hour sleep, at which point you recover all of your hit points, all of your spell slots, and all that sort of stuff automatically without using a hit dice. So essentially the option is yours. You're looking at about probably 5 to 6 p.m. at this stage on the time frame sort of thing. So you know it's getting towards evening. I mean, this house is dark anyway, so you really can't tell how dark it is outside. But especially now that you're in the attic, the windows that are here are all dusted over and dark anyway. But your body kind of tells you it's starting to sort of wear on in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I say we take a short break, like a short rest. Just chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, I think a short rest would be good because we don't know what's going to happen if we
You're
take
muted,
a long
Malice.
rest.
You're muted.
Thank you.
I could see your lips moving, but nothing was coming through.
Well, I say we take whatever we need to take to get Grim. I want everybody at full strength when we go against this thing. I want you to be
Right.
fully alert and ready to go.
Well, we can always see how a little rest does, and if we have to, we can sleep from there.
So are we sleeping or just slowing down? Taking it.
So I
go-
say we just take the long rest. That way, there's no risk in rolling dice. It's just, you get fully recovered.
Yep. So a long
Yeah,
rest
we
will
take a
be.
long
damage,
rest. I mean,
yes,
we've
Yeah.
as
already
well.
been through it.
So you're gonna take a long rest. Everyone's decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So do you wish to take a long rest in the children's room, or do you want to find a different room in the house to take a rest in, somewhere you can all sleep properly, or generally choose your area in which you want to rest?
Well, I'd actually like to ask the children. Would you like us to stay here? Would you like some of us to stay here in the room with you?
Well, don't leave us. I mean, we've been left alone for so long. It's nice to have someone to talk to.
I'll stay in the children's room then.
Yeah, they don't seem threatening. Can sleep here.
Well,
Okay, so then you got 2 single beds in this room, but I mean, you guys are reasonably well seasoned travelers. You've slept on hard grounds, and I mean, to sleep on the floor is not a huge issue. I mean, the children really don't sleep anyway. I mean, they're ghosts, for Christ's sake, so they don't really take up much room.
Who's really injured? Only Grim?
Grim. Yeah, we'll ask you, Grim. Yeah.
I'm only minorly hurt.
So Grim and Dastek. Okay, then you two take the beds.
And Yas is injured too.
Am I?
Yep, you took a little bit of damage.
Early in the okay, at the wall, right?
Yep.
Then the 3 of you take a rest. I'll take first watch.
Okay.
So you decide to take a well-earned rest in the children's bedroom. Grim, Yas, and Dastak, you all sort of make yourselves as comfortable as you possibly can, and given the current situation. And Karis, you sit up and take first watch. Once the others sort of drift off to sleep, Karis, you sort of sitting, I'd imagine you're sitting on the floor.
Yeah, sitting on the floor.
Resting against the wall or something like that.
Yeah.
Both Rosa and Thorn sort of come and sit down beside you. Thorn snuggles into Rosa's side, and Rosa pretty much does the same to you, even though you can't feel it. You can see she's sort of resting her head on your shoulder and sort of not really sort of snuggling in, but there for comfort. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Yay! Eight.
And with that, uncontrollably, a single tear rolls down your left cheek as your memories turn to the one that you know all about. I'm not going to say it because I want to keep it a secret for now, but your memories turn to her. And just that single tear sort of rolls down your cheek and you sort of fight it back. It's not very often you get emotional about such things, but just the sight of these 2 small skeletons has just been a little overwhelming. And especially now that with Rosa sort of leaning on you, not dissimilar in fashion. So after an hour or two, I mean, the house seems quiet. Usual house, the settling of a house at night, the creaks and groans of the timbers and things like that, general house sounds you'd get, especially in an old manor home like this. But at times you get the feeling that the house is breathing. It just has that sense of sort of humanity to it. You get a sense you're being watched a lot of the time, and it's uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable. So after 2 or 3 hours, you decide that, and with a bit of conversation with Rosa and Thorn as well, you decide that it's probably safe enough for you yourself to drift off to sleep also.
Okay.
So you guys take your long rest. So on your character sheets at the very top, you'll see short rest, long rest. If you click on long rest and then confirm it,
Joker with
so you'll see on the right hand side, it'll pop up a box. It'll say take a long rest. click take a long rest, confirm it, and it'll reset all your hit points, any spell slots you've used, and it will restore things like your rage and all that sort of stuff.
This is the second long rest, right?
Long rest doesn't really matter how many you take. You just click it. Every time you take a long rest, you click it and reset everything. Same thing if you take a short rest, you do the same thing, and it just does it automatically. The joys of D&D Beyond. What's that?
Oh yeah, we took a rest before this.
That was your first night in.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't taken a rest since you've been sucked into the land of Barovia. This is your first long rest.
Okay, very cool.
So upon waking, I would say, Karis, you're probably the first to wake.
Mm-hmm.
Being a little bit more uncomfortable on the floor, and Rosa and Thorn are no longer there. So yeah, it's not unusual for them not to be there. I mean, the ghosts, you would assume that they're not going to be there the whole time. But you all come to wake eventually over the course of sort of an hour or so. And
what I'd like to do before walking out of the room, is go to the skeletons on the floor and whisper to them, "We will free you. You have my word."
Evil.
Yo.
Wouldn't me and Karis wake up like 4 hours before the other two?
It's up. That's completely up to you. You don't have to take that 4-hour meditation. You can actually sleep if you wish. If you decide to just use the 4-hour meditation, you still get the benefits of a long rest.
Okay.
But you don't have to do it every night.
Okay.
Yeah. That whole elven thing is purely up to you. Like if you know that you're in a hostile environment and you know that you can only need 4 hours of rest to gain the effects of a long rest, and you take that and take 4 hours watch. So between the two of you could swap watches and everyone would get a long rest. But in certain situations you can sleep as normal if you wish.
Okay.
So yeah. So Karis, you do that, and you get the moment you sort of those words leave your lips, you get that sense of sort of being thanked. You get the feeling that that's been acknowledged, that they understand and respect and thank you for your assistance. And with that, you all come to consciousness. You are now fully rested, fully repaired of your injuries, and are prepared to move forward with your investigations and or expedition into the Durst Manor.
And we are in the attic already.
You are
correct?
in the attic in the children's bedroom, yes.
And
The
then we
storage room. You now know exactly where things are. You have a map of the house sitting right in front of you. Rosa has showed you all, or showed Karis, and I'd say probably you, Dastak, where things are in the house. You know exactly where the right library is on the second floor. You know where the secret door now is leading to the staircase, which will lead you to the basement. And you know where other parts of the house are.
Yeah.
So now, essentially, it is your decision which way you wish to travel, which way you want to, whether you want to go to this secret room, whether you want to go down to the library, whether you want to investigate the rest of the house. The choice
Storage
is yours.
room.
I'm gonna go with
room.
Karis.
Yep, we're going to the storage.
I like his way of thinking of going in and just taking care of business.
And with
monster.
that, I'd like to have all of you know, I'm not saying I like any of you. I'm not saying that. But I've seen you fight. I've seen your values. I've seen your spirit. I acknowledge you as warriors. I acknowledge you as people. We don't know what we're going to face down there, but whatever it is that we face it together.
We've come this far together. If we die together, then I wouldn't have it any other way.
You've got my arrow.
we die together, or not at all?
I was waiting for that.
And you have my axe.
And you have Yas's feathers.
You have my wings. My wings are yours. Face them in what you will.
Then let's go. Let's do this.
You have my beak. Yeah, right. So you proceed forth to the room pointed out to you in the doll's house, which is the storage room, and indeed you do find exactly what Rosa described. A bunch of old furniture covered up in sheets, cobwebs everywhere, a couple of old mannequins and bits and pieces strewn around the room. You proceed directly to the wall, or the place where she pointed out that the secret door would be, and it doesn't take any investigation. You sort of feel around for a bit, and you do indeed find, if you push on that section of wall, it's almost like a spring-loaded trapdoor. You push on it and it pops open. You open it up, and there in front of you is a dusty, cobweb-filled spiral staircase leading downwards.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I can see the farthest.
Makes sense. Go for it. I'll follow right behind you.
Marching order: Dastak, Karis. Who's after Karis?
And I'll stealth. I'll go in stealth mode right behind everybody.
Okay, so you're in the back. So roll, if you want to go quietly, roll a stealth check. If you don't want to go quietly, don't roll a stealth check.
Yeah, I want to go quietly.
So everyone roll a stealth check if that's what you want to do. Make yourself as quiet as possible. So
19.
be aware that anyone with metal armor on will be at disadvantage. So Grimgash, you will have to roll 2d. Roll your stealth check twice and take the lowest.
All right. So, it's a +1, right?
Yep, it'll be, if you go to your skills again, you'll see right at the bottom, stealth, which for you is +1.
Yeah, it says +1. All right. So I roll 2, right?
So you roll it twice and take the lower.
13 and 21.
So it'll be 13. So Grimgash is a 13. Yes, what is your stealth check?
I got a 5.
Seriously?
Oh my God.
How do you get a 5?
The lower one, right?
No, you don't have to.
No,
it's
only
just
me.
it's only Grim.
The first roll was a 24.
Well, there you go, 24. Yeah, only Grim has to roll the disadvantage because he's wearing chainmail armor, so it's noisier.
Yeah.
So 24 for you, 13 for Grim, Karis 19, and Das
18.
18. So you're all pretty good. You're all pretty stealthy. Even your fighter companion, who normally makes a lot of clanking and clanging sounds or jingling sounds with his chainmail, is even pretty. Yeah, it's even pretty quiet at this point. So a narrow spiral staircase made of creaky wood winds downwards. The center shaft mortared into the stone. It pretty much starts at this top floor in the attic and descends straight down. You travel downwards slowly and quietly. The wood does creak and groan under the weight of everyone as you move your way down this, probably about 50 feet to the dungeon level. You then reach a narrow tunnel that stretches southward. Before you see, especially you, Dash, with your vision, you see it branching east and west. From the moment you arrive at the bottom of this spiral staircase, you hear in the distance an eerie, incessant chant echoing throughout these caverns. You can't really discern what the words are, and you can't really determine in which direction it is coming from. But it's that low droning, almost you sort of think of the those old horror movies where you got the cultists in robes, sort of low droning chants. Yeah, something like that. But there is this a low chant coming from throughout these halls. So to give you a quick indication, because I haven't actually got totally this far in, I just got to figure out where the hell you are. There you are there. So I haven't had a chance to isolate these parts of the map yet, so I'm going to scroll this in. It's probably going to look a little fuzzy, but it'll give you an idea of what you currently see. Hunter.
Yeah.
Kids.
I thought you were talking to me.
No. Talking to the child making stupid noises in the background when he's being told not to. Right. So what you basically see, ignore that number, I used the wrong map, but that's just a number reference for me. So the spiral staircase is where you've just come down, and you now are standing pretty much just in that sort of alcove where the number 22 is. So literally sort of 20 feet in front of you is a corridor leading left and right. The corridor is about 10 feet wide, so it's wide enough for just two of you to fit.
I as soon as I'd get down and I'd notice this, I'd like kind of give everyone the hand too, because I know Gas can't really see.
So
Yeah, I got little bird eyes.
you guys do have torches in your packs, I believe, if you wish to use them.
Wait, what can we do?
You've got you'll have torches. You got
I have a
torches
question.
and a tinderbox in your pack normally.
Would I have the stuff for my lights
For your what?
or no? My spell,
What spell?
cantrip, dancing light.
It's a cantrip, so you shouldn't need any components.
It says it needs like I need like wormwood or
You would have had those. I mean, you probably need to
Okay.
add those to your notes just to say that, or add them to your equipment so you know you've got them. But yeah, you would have
Okay.
not gone out on any kind of adventure without the components you need for your spells.
okay.
So you would definitely have it for sure.
Okay. I basically have phosphorus for it. So I would cast that, and it's concentration up to a minute, and I can have up to four
Four
small
globes,
lights,
yeah.
glowing orbs, and they've shed dim light in a 10-foot radius.
Okay, so you can
So
all with
up to the
these
full.
with these orbs being cast from Das, you guys now sort of watch as four luminescent globes sort of just come forth from his hands and sort of float in and around the area, illuminating the area dimly around you. So you can all see. Most of you have dark vision, I believe. I think both the elves do. I don't know about half orcs. Let me just double check. Grimgash, you have dark vision. Yes, you're the only one that doesn't have dark vision. So you need these orbs to see, but you can see with these light globes from Das. So you are now able to see these things. So with that, you have, like I say, you got 20 feet or so in front of you, and then the corridor splits left and right, or north and south from if you're looking at the map from my perspective. How do you proceed?
I would walk up and look both ways, honestly.
So
It's
as you
pretty quiet.
I can't see. I'll let you guys decide.
as you step forward into the open corridor, you sort of look left and right, and what you can see is a long corridor in both directions. In the northern direction probably goes about 30 or 40 feet and then turns to the left. You can see a distinctive left turn to a corridor. Looking the other way to the southern position, you see a corridor again that leads to an open sort of archway. It leads into an area that looks like it's got a large table. You can't really see that. You can see that far, but it's kind of too dim to sort of make out what's there. It looks like a table from your position. But there's also another kind of archway, 2 archways in that corridor leading off to either side of the corridor, and to the left where you saw the curvature in the corridor, there's another arch sort of veering off to the right as well. So it's all stonework down here, so it's very well carved out stonework. It's definitely man-made. The floors are marbled almost. It's all that kind of that marbly. It's not marble, but it's a real marbling style sort of stonework. And the walls and ceilings, it's all carved stone.
Well, what say ye, team? Where are we going?
I always like going
Going where?
left.
Left. So that'll take you
Well,
to
I'm
the
left-handed,
northern.
so
Yeah. If you go left, it'll take you to the northern position on the map. Well, actually, eastern position on the map, looking at the way the map is.
Yeah.
So you guys have come from the north, heading south, and you can go east or west. East is left, west is right.
East.
So you turn left in that corridor. You walk about 10 or 20 feet, and then to your south, you see an open corridor again, which leads, as you look in there, it splits again, east and west. Looks very dissimilar, not unfamiliar. It's very much like almost like a tomb or a crypt, the way that it's set out.
All right. Are we just in the front of it? And
You just sort of stand. You're
entering
sort of standing, looking at it. You can carry on going to the east, and you'll carry on following the corridor, or you can go south to investigate this small sort of crypt opening.
I'm gonna go down into the crypt.
It's not down. It's just a straight corridor. It's on the same.
Straight card.
It's the same level as you.
Let's just right into it.
Yeah, it's just on the same level as you guys.
can we see how
The other
far
option
with that
is-
crypt, how far the crypt goes in?
From where you're standing, you're looking about 10 or 20 feet into it, and then it's you can see that it splits off left and right, and there's just this, and again, what you can see is a solid sort of stonework wall, and it looks like it has the Durst family crest carved on one stone.
Okay, guys, it looks like we're gonna have to come up with a plan and some type of logic because this stuff keeps splitting off left and right.
All right, hold on. Karis, can you listen first for the chanting?
That everyone can hear it.
Everyone can hear
It is consistent and ongoing.
Okay. Does he know? Do you know what direction it's in?
Can I try to like invoke my deity for help?
You can. It'll take you 10 minutes to do it. You'll have to sit on the floor and do it as a ritual.
All right, then I'll do it. Are you guys okay with waiting 10 minutes here to see if I can figure something out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it seems we're in a labyrinth.
Yeah, I'd rather have more information. Wait if I have to.
The lights
So-
will drop you guys.
So with that, Karis, you plonk yourself down in the center of this corridor. Sit cross-legged. You take the whip from your side, which is the gift from your deity. You hold it in your hands, and you spend 10 minutes concentrating and pleading with your deity to come forth. After 10 minutes of concentrating, eyes closed, sort of just list that chant sort of going in the background, you get the sense and feel hands on both your shoulders. It's not unfamiliar. It's not creepy. It's just a sense of comfort and a sense that someone's there. You will get 3 questions.
Okay. Are we going the right direction?
As you ask your question, you feel on your right shoulder slight pressure from the hand on your right shoulder. And you get a sense that you get a positive feeling from that. There's no voice that comes to you that says yes or no, but that just that acknowledgement gives you a positive feeling that you're potentially on the right path. Second question.
Okay. What kind of beast are we going to go up against?
With that, you get a cold chill runs up your spine. And you get a smell, a smell comes to you, a very acidic smell, almost burns your nostrils.
An acidic smell that's burning my nostrils. Can't imagine that being good.
And your third question.
I feel like Aladdin right now. I wish you to be free.
I want to chime in so bad, but I know I can't.
You guys can't even hear what he's asking in his head. You guys can't even hear his questions.
I know.
So the first, I need to recap on the first question.
So your first question was your first question was, are you on the right path? And you got a sense of positivity with a confirmation of a squeeze from the right hand. Your second question was, what do you face down here? You got a very cold chill up your spine and a very acidic smell in your nose, to the point that it almost brought tears to your eyes. It was very pungent.
From here, where do we go?
And with that, very specific questions. So the thing is, I don't want to give it too much away, but it's all good. With this, you get a feeling, both hands sort of, again, put pressure on your shoulders, and you feel a breath on your left ear. And the way you're sitting, that leans towards the east.
And towards the east is the crypt.
That's you're sitting facing south. East. South is the crypt directly in front of you. East is the corridor leading off and carrying on.
Okay.
With that, after you feeling that sort of warm breath on that side of your face and ear, the pressure and the feeling of those hands leaves your body, and you let out a long breath. You feel relaxed, and you felt that you were answered in some way.
Mm-hmm. So I stand up now. I look at my team. We're on the right track. We're going to be going east from here. And somehow, whatever started as a simple adventure, whatever we're going to be facing, we need to be prepared and ready 100%. Because it's not going to be easy. This isn't going to be a suit of armor or a spirit out of a mirror.
Yeah.
So are you with me? Are we going east?
Yes.
Let's go east. I feel it in my bird bones.
You
You
wishbone.
mean your hollow bones?
Yes. The marrow, the delicious marrow that flows throughout me, senses that east is the way to go.
So do you continue
east.
east and follow the corridor?
Yes.
So
Say-
Karis stands himself up, put your whip back on your belt, and you all proceed down the corridor towards the east. You get
Always
to
go
the
left.
edge of the corridor, and you do hang a left, and are now heading north. You come to a small staircase leading down, and as you descend this small staircase, you find yourself in a square room. A wooden table with 4 chairs stand at the east end of this room. To the west are 4 alcoves, and as you sort of look around, looks like they contain sort of moldy straw pallets. Not much else to sort of see in this area. It is like you sort of mill around here a little bit, and it looks like this is possibly some form of sleeping quarters, or maybe an area where people have sort of hung out a little bit. Do you continue following the next corridor, which is still to your north, then which then turns west?
It's all lefts.
If this is the only direction to go, this is the direction that I feel that I was told that we needed to go.
And
I feel that we need to
yeah,
keep following this.
and that's exactly it. You get it at the moment you sort of go in this direction. You get that feeling, that internal feeling that you're on the right track.
Always left. Go.
So you continue forward. You go forward another 10 or 20 feet down a narrow corridor. You turn now to the west and descend another small staircase. You now find yourself, when I get to the right map so I don't see all the frickin' numbers, you now find yourself... Holy crap. Made it too big.
Oh boy.
Oh shit. It's kind of hard to reveal some of this without revealing too much.
Yeah.
That's what Photoshop's for. I normally Photoshop this stuff down. So you've revealed that area there. Probably do that. So, it's pretty much as you come down the stairs to the top of that map there, which is in the center. You've just come from that area where the straw beds are. You just come down those small stairwell. You now come into a large room which has a well in the center. Off this room is a series of small bedrooms, if you will. So basically you've got a 4-foot diameter well shaft with a 3-foot high stone lip. Looking down, it descends approximately 30 feet to a water-filled cistern. A wooden bucket hangs from a rope and a pulley mechanism bolted to cross beams above the well. Typical ye olde well. 5 side rooms basically are off this room. So you got the 3 at the top there, and you got another 2 at the bottom. There's another set of stairs ascending off back towards the east. Each one of these rooms, as you sort of mill around and have a quick look, has a footlocker and a bed. What do you wish to do?
I would say yes. Go pick the lock.
Yeah, I'll pick the lock.
What lock?
Is there a lock?
Is there a lock on the footlocker?
I don't know. You might want to go have a look.
I'll take a look at one of the rooms.
Which room you want to
Let
look
me
in?
look in one of the rooms.
If we number them one to 5, basically going from top to bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm looking at the map.
So 1 at the top, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 at the bottom there. Which room do you want to go to first?
Let me check room 1.
Room 1. So you walk into room 1 and you check the foot locker. It is not locked. You open the chest and you find a small pouch.
Yes.
And in that pouch, it's very weird texture to it. It looks almost like skin. It's odd. It's not leather. It's not any kind of leather that you've touched before. I mean, you've got a coin pouch, and your coin pouch is made from deer hide, as is most coin pouches. This coin pouch, and it feels like a coin pouch. It feels like it's got coins in it, but it's different. It's a different type of skin. It looks weird and kind of creepy. But you open it anyway, and you find 11 gold pieces and 60 silver pieces.
All right.
Money.
So you guys, essentially with this, you guys have a choice. You can split any gold and stuff you find and share it, or you can keep it for yourself. I mean, yes, you've found it, so...
I'm only a thief when I have to clothe and feed myself, so I split it with the rest.
So that will be, if you want to split that evenly, give or take, 4 people... You're looking at 15 silver pieces each, and we'll round it up. We'll give you guys 3 gold pieces each. So on your character sheets, to add that to your character sheet, you go to your equipment. You know how to do it, Savage. So you go to equipment, and then you go to your... When I find my character sheet, so I can help you through it. You go to equipment, and then you'll see your currency just on the right hand side of your equipment tab. Just click on the gold that you have there already, and it'll pop up a box on the right hand side. Then you'll see a section that says adjust currency. Add the amount into each box, and then just click add. So
3 gold,
3 gold
what
and 15 silver. So you add the 3 gold and the 15 silver into the respective boxes, and then just click the green add button, and that'll add it to your currency. If you have trouble with it, let me know. I can add it for you on my end as well. But hopefully we'll get you guys through your sheets so that you're sort of starting to remember where things are and how to do things.
Yep.
So,
to go. We're rich.
So back to our little map here. So that was room 1.
I would go into room 3.
You're going to go into room 3. Again, the chest is unlocked. Yeah. So in that room, you investigate the chest. You find a black leather eye patch with a carnelian, which is a gem sewed into the patch itself. So that's Carnelian is the gem. You probably don't know what it's worth. Yes, may do if you ask him with his background, but at this point you have no idea what it's worth. It's a pretty cool looking gem. And that's pretty much all you find there.
Okay.
That's room 1 and room 3 taken care of.
I want to go to room 2.
Room 2. Grimgash, you head up to room 2 and you find the same sit out. Just a single bed, a foot locker, and in that foot you open the foot locker and you look inside, and you find 3 small green gems, moss agates, and it's folded up in a piece of black cloth. So on your character sheet, if you were going to add something like that, you would probably just add it under your notes, or you could add it to your equipment and just put under other, and you just type it in manually.
And so what was it called?
It's just moss agate, so MOSS AGATES times 3, and a piece of black cloth. You can add these to your character sheets, or you can put them in a manual notepad. Sometimes this sort of inane stuff that you're just going to sell off later on, probably easy to put down on just on a manual notepad. Just keep track of it that way. So that's room 1, 2, and 3. We have 2 rooms left, 4 and 5 at the western end of this hall.
I actually just want to investigate the well.
You want to investigate the well? Roll investigation.
Alrighty. Of course, I have nothing to add on to it. That's fucking wonderful. A 15.
15. You sort of look into the well, and like I said, the water's about 30 feet down from the lip of this well. It smells clean enough. It doesn't seem to be stagnated at all. Possibly an underwater spring of some description. The bucket's at the top. It's all dusty and covered in cobwebs. It hasn't been used in a long, long time. But apart from that, there's nothing unusual about the well at all.
So just a normal.
Just an ordinary well.
I was expecting like some long-haired 10-year-old girl to be popping out of there, but
yes, nothing untoward happens from the well. It is just an ordinary well.
So, quick question though, with the map that you have pulled up, I see.
You don't see anything. All you see is that room.
Okay. So I'm fine with leaving the jewels and the money and everything for everybody else. I'm not interested in money. I'm not interested in jewels. I want to move on through the stairwell. So I tell everyone, finish searching, go through the rooms, gather what riches you want, what riches you wish, and let's move forward.
Okay, so who's investigating 4 and 5?
Dastak, what did you find in that room?
I found an eye patch with a gem. Doesn't seem. What was the gem?
It was a carnelian.
Yeah, my sources tell me that it sells for about 50 gold pieces.
And your sources would be correct.
Pretty good find. Yes.
And with your background, you indeed would. Your background, you indeed would know that it was worth about 50 gold pieces.
Noted.
Anyone going to investigate the other 2 rooms?
Room 5.
You got 4 and 5 left to go.
I'd like room 5.
Room 5. This room, you Dash. You go in room 5, and this chest is locked. I believe you have thieves' tools. So dexterity plus proficiency, because obviously you have thieves' tools. You're obviously proficient in them.
19.
And with ease, you pop the lock on this small chest, and inside you find a silvered short sword. So that you'll be able to add that you will be able to add to your equipment list. It will be in D&D Beyond. It's just a silvered short sword. So it'll be just a standard short sword, but it'll be silvered. If you in D&D Beyond, if you just add a short sword, just a standard short sword, and then if you customize it to say that it's silvered, or just make a note that it's silvered. And I'm not sure if there is a silvered short sword on D&D Beyond. There should be.
No, there's only the great silvered short sword.
So just add a regular short sword, and just make a note that it's silvered.
Okay.
And Grim, as you check the chest in room 4, which is not locked, you open it up and you find an ivory hairbrush with silver bristles. And the silver looks like real silver to you.
Okay.
Let me double check that. Yeah, it's real.
your resident fence.
All of a sudden, our bird is
Pretty
a
much.
jeweler.
I wouldn't say a jeweler, I'd say more a fence. And with the investigation of this area complete, do you guys rejoin Karis at the foot of the stairs, ready to continue?
Yes. We converge.
And there is where we're going to end today's session, guys. We're getting close to 2 o'clock.
Of course.
Well done. Before we do finish up and go anywhere, guys, once again, thank you very much for playing. But congratulations, team. You are now level 2.
Yay!
So if you want to go through the leveling of your character now, let me know. We can do it on stream before we finish up.
I want to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
So first things first, I mean, Das and Karis, you guys are pretty familiar with how it all works, so I'm assuming you'll be able to have no problems doing your own. Roll for your HP. You need to roll another hit dice as it adds it, and just add it to your rolled HP. And I'll go through it on Yas's sheet. So Yas, if you just want to watch the stream, I'm going to use your sheet.
Yep.
And I'll do it for you, just so you know how to do it. And I'll go through step by step. So.
Cool.
So first things first, you drop down your menu, so you literally click on your name at the top left and go manage levels and click on that. It'll take you through to back to your creation page. You will then see here level on the right hand side. You'll click that and go down to level 2 and just click level 2 and it'll add a box in here. You probably won't get anything that you need to click at this point, but if you do, it'll come up as an exclamation point. So what's happened now is at second level, yes, you've now picked up a feature that's called Reckless Attack. So starting at second level, you can throw aside all concern for defense to attack with fierce desperation. When you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly. Doing so gives you advantage on all melee weapon attacks using strength during this turn, but attacks against you also have advantage until your next turn. So you can, as an example, if you were attacking the Spectre, you could say, I'm going to use Reckless Attack, and that means you could roll 2 d20s, add your modifiers, and take the highest to attack that creature. But that creature will also have the same ability to attack against you. Okay, so that's what that means there. You also gained danger sense. So at second level, you gain an uncanny sense when things nearby aren't as they should be, giving you an edge when you dodge away from danger. So you now have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects that you can see, such as traps, spells. To gain this benefit, you cannot be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. So, example, if you tripped a trap, or someone else tripped a trap that you needed to make a dexterity saving throw on it, you would have advantage. Henceforth, you would roll 2 d20s and take the higher. Okay. So you've gained that at level 2. You now have 2 hit dice instead of 1. So can I get you to roll just a single d12 for me, please, Twin?
Yep.
And re-roll 1s as well. So if you get a 1, always re-roll it.
I get a 11.
11. So then what you do is you go to your manage HP, click on that, and in your rolled HP, you got an 11. So you would add 11 to what's already there. So it'll be 23 total. Click apply. And now you have a maximum hit point of 25. So then once you've done that, you go click on what's next. View character sheet. And over here, you'll have now, if you refresh your sheet, Twin.
Yep.
You should now have a max hit points of 25. It may take a little while to come through, but
nope, it worked. It went through.
Also, too, if you go to your features and traits tab, you'll see in there now it's listed Reckless Attack, Danger Sense. So it gives you all those bits and pieces.
Okay, cool.
So that's your sheet done. Death, did you follow that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so we'll do it for yours as well. So, well, I'll talk you through yours. You'll do it yourself. So, click on your name on your character sheet. Drop that menu down.
Okay.
Click on Manage Levels.
Okay.
And then once you're there, you'll see on the right-hand side, Level 1. Drop that down and click on Level 2.
Okay.
Once you've done that, we then go down and you'll see that at level 2 you've gained an ability called Action Surge. So starting at level 2, you can push yourself beyond your normal limits for a moment. On your turn, you can take an additional action. So what that means is when you attack something or use an action, for an example, I think you have to use your attack action. So you say you swing out and attack the Spectre, and you've done some pretty good damage. You go, okay, I'm going to use Action Surge. Then you'd attack again in that action. So essentially it gives you two attacks in that action.
Oh, cool.
So when you get to the higher levels where you get 2 attacks in your action, you would essentially be able to attack 4 times in a single combat using Action Surge. I think you can use it once per day or once per long rest. So it's a pretty cool feature. So again, at the top of that sheet, you'll see the blue Manage HP box. So roll a 1d10 for me.
Okay.
And if you get a 1, re-roll it.
1d10.
Re-roll it.
I got.
Cheers, chat. Just bear with us for a moment. I'm going to go through some stuff after we've just done these sheets for these guys. Just remember that Twin Gats and Death are both brand new to the game, so they're learning all this stuff firsthand.
Evil, I have a question.
Just one moment, Savage. Did you roll a 1 again? Holy crap. Re-roll it. Oh, you got a 2.
Got a 2.
That's worse. Re-roll that one as well. Fucking hell. we can't let you have a 1 or a 2. That's just terrible. There we go. So, click on the Manage HP.
Or Manage Up.
So you got
Manage HP,
the blue Manage HP box, and in that box, add that 10 to what's already in the rolled HP box. So that'll now equal 20, and click Apply.
So wait, I go to the rolled HP and I put 10.
No, 20 would be the total.
Oh, I put 20. Okay.
Yeah, you just add whatever you roll to what was already there, and you already had 10 there.
Okay, and then I hit Apply, right?
Then you hit Apply.
Rolled HP.
Yep.
Right.
And then what you'll see when you go to the top and hit the white what's next, and then view character sheet.
Oh, what's next? Okay.
Yep. And then click your view character sheet, and your max HP should be 24.
My max HP.
So at the top right, you'll see your current and your max HP.
Where is that at? I'm trying to
Top
find
right.
it.
Top right.
Top right.
On your character
It
sheet.
says, I'm on the character sheet. I see. This says current 14, max 14.
Refresh
for
it.
hit points.
Yeah, refresh it.
Okay.
It's gone through. I've got it up on screen if you want to look at the stream.
Yeah, it still says 14 for me.
It'll take a bit of time.
All right, well, it's there.
It's definitely gone through. Yeah, it's gone through. It's come through on mine. Like if you look on stream, you'll see it. It's definitely come through at max 24. Again, cool. If you go to your features and traits section, it'll show you your action surge, and it's once per short rest, so you can do it after every short rest. You also have second wind as well.
Wait, where is the action surge at? That is
under features and traits. So your main
features and traits.
So your main box there. Click on the heading features and traits. Just be aware too when you are in a combat, if you roll a 1 or a 2 on your damage dice, re-roll them. You have great what is classed as great weapon fighting. So whenever you're rolling your damage dice for your weapon, which I think is a D12, if you roll a 1 or a 2, you can re-roll it.
Okay.
So it means you're going to do higher damage every time. So Karis, have you done yours?
Yeah, so my health went up 22. I'm up 22 now.
Cool.
Eldritch Invocations, I got Devil's Sight.
Sweet.
So you can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, to a distance of 120 feet.
Awesome.
And Eyes of the Runekeeper, you can read all writing.
Awesome. Good choices. That's actually different. Most warlocks go with Eldritch the Eldritch Spear first, which increases Eldritch Blast out to 300 feet, but it's kind of unnecessary, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And so you're done, Das. Do you need me to do yours?
So I'm in it. I'm like good with that, but what I'm having a problem, my character sheet already said I had 2-weapon fighting.
Yes, it's 2-weapon fighting. It's not dual wielding. It means you can use main hand, offhand, but you don't add any modifiers to your offhand.
Okay.
That's a class feature.
So I can use 2 weapons right now.
Yeah.
I just don't get
Every thing is everyone can use two-handed fighting. Purely because it's everyone can hold a weapon in main hand and offhand. The difference between rogues, the difference between rogues and any other class is rogues can add modifiers to their offhand, whereas other classes can't. And the weapon has to be a light or a finesse weapon to be able to do it. So rapiers, daggers, short swords have the ability to be dual wielded. You can't dual wield battle axes, although there is a feature for that for later at the higher levels.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
So so make sure you do your HP if you haven't already.
Yep, I'm at 18 HP.
18, cool. And you've added all your stuff. So what did you add? What did you get as an additional?
I'm taking archery.
Okay, cool. Yes.
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 I think it says. No.
Now, Evil, I do have one question though.
Yes.
So you did say that upon level up, you have the ability to kind of multi-class.
You can do that at each class, yes. So you can choose, when you do that in the level up, you can, instead of leveling up as your current class, you could choose add another class instead. So if I go to, I'll use yours as an example here.
Because use it as an example because I wanted to add healer to my stuff. Some type of healing.
So you want to go cleric. Okay, so we need to reduce, it means you lose your Eldritch evocations though, because you won't get those.
Okay.
So if we bring you back to level 1 on Warlock, I'll redo your hit points. So at the bottom here, you'll see add another class. So you click add another class, and then because we're using prerequisites, you can see that you're unable to be a wizard because you don't have high enough intelligence, but you can be a cleric or a paladin. So which would you?
Well, paladin, hell no.
So cleric. So you just literally add class, and now you're level 1 cleric, level 1 warlock. Your hit points, you rolled a 10.
It was an 8 and then another 8.
Oh, the 8 and 8?
22,
Okay.
So, yeah.
8 and 8, 16. No, you only roll 1 extra dice.
Yeah, that's what I did. I added 8 on top of the 8 that was already there.
Okay, so your max hit points is now 22. So what that means is if you now look at class features, so now if you refresh your page and go back to your edit, and you'll have to go back to your and edit your character.
Edit character, okay.
So, but literally go back to manage levels, same as you did before. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, hold on a second. Holy shit. Manage levels. Yeah, all right, yeah.
So you'll see Warlock and Cleric. Drop down the class features on the Cleric, and you'll see that there's an exclamation point by Divine Domain. You now have to choose a Divine Domain. So you get a chance. There's a whole bunch of different domains to choose from. Obviously, you got Death Domain, Forge Domain, Grave Domain, Knowledge. They all have features by them. So take the time over the course of the week to go through those and decide which domain you want to do. And with that, you'll get some spells. And with that, you'll probably get a couple of healing spells. So do that over the course of the next week, and let me know if you have any hassles, and I can help you out with it.
I added my 2 spells, by the way.
Cool. Deathvale, you were trying to say something before.
Oh yeah, so my HP is at 14, right?
No.
No? Okay.
24.
Okay, so it should be at 24. It still hasn't refreshed for me.
That's weird. You might have to.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Now it's good.
I say it should do it.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good.
You worried me.
Now it refreshed. I was like, why is it taking forever?
Yeah, it's because
Alright,
it's
guys,
because
I
I was
do
in
have
your,
to
it's
go.
because I was in your sheet doing it as well. So because you're logged into your sheet and I'm logged into your sheet, there's sometimes a bit of a conflict, and it just takes a bit of time
Okay.
for their algorithms to catch up. But
Okay. Cool.
so we are now level 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Congratulations, players, for reaching level 2. That milestone was when you guys discovered the secret door to the attic. It was just easy to do it at the end of the show rather than try and do it halfway through. Congratulations on finding Rosa and Thorn and finding out some information about Durst Manor and the goings on there. Obviously next week, same time, same place, we'll be back again for session 3 of the Curse of Strahd, the house part 2,
Cool.
which will have our team further investigating the basement area of Durst Manor. So once again, we have the SBC, aka Savage, aka Dashtac, joining us. Make sure you go check him out on Twitter. Keep an eye out on Twitter for when he starts going live again. He will be streaming again at some stage, so do keep an eye out for him. Make sure you go hit him up with a follow. We have also Mr. Deathvale on Mixer. Go check him out over on Mixer. Do the stuff, do the things. Lots of music over there, lots of fun. Also, Twitter's up above his cam there. Make sure you go hit him up with a follow, check him out, show him the love. Mr. Malice as well, joining us once again. Also on Twitch, go check him out. Does a lot of artwork and all the bits and pieces, gaming and stuff as well. Talks a lot of shit, but you get past that.
Also, can I add?
Yes.
Can I add? For my music streams, I brought out my 7-string.
Ooh. I'll have to come along and check that
Nice.
out. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be using my 7-string a lot often and stuff
That
like
Jim
that.
Callis
certain
heel
songs.
first.
Awesome,
I
dude.
know, right?
Love this. Yeah, love the 7 strings. Awesome sounds come out of a 7 string, I tell you. Mr. Steve Vai, one of my favorite guitarists.
Oh yeah.
Amazing 7 string guitarist. And lastly, but by no means leastly, Twin Gates Gaming all over on the end there. Again, gamer, variety streamer here on Twitch, does a lot of things,
Yeah, I
does
appreciate you
artwork,
guys
does
having me.
gaming. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, make sure you follow him on Twitch. And players, thank you very much for joining me for session 2 of our D&D campaign. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Again, roleplay tonight
It's hella fun.
was
I didn't
awesome,
think I was
guys.
gonna like it as much as I do.
A lot of
Yeah,
people don't, though. Honestly, a lot of people get into this game with preconceived notions about what it's about. They overthink the RP, which is a big mistake. Or they feel weird about RP and sort of just get all nervous and just don't say anything.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, especially with people you know, I mean, and it's definitely easier. I say Malice, Death, and myself and Savage have sort of been involved through content creation a little bit over the last couple of years. Twin, I've known you for probably 2 or 3 years now in the same context.
It's been a while.
So because we're all familiar with each other, it makes it easier to do these types of things. And
I made sure I went and checked everyone out and stuff. We started following too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so make sure we.
And,
I mean,
yeah,
most
so
of
we
us,
still
most of
on
us are following each other and supporting each other in our endeavors as content creators as well, which is really cool. But yeah, the D&D universe is an amazing place. I mean, even to sit down for 2 or 3 or 4 hours with friends and just get out of your own head for a few hours, play a character you wouldn't normally play, do things you wouldn't normally do, and just have fun. I mean, and as your guys' humor makes it even better because we've got mixed sense of humor here. It's all pretty dark a little bit as well, and it just makes it more fun. I mean, it just really, it's really easy, and it makes my job as a new dungeon master makes that so much easier as well. So I do thank you guys for your support and doing this as well. And of course,
Doing a
as
great
Yanti
job.
said,
I mean, I get the visuals in my
Catch
head
the
right
YouTube.
away.
make sure you're following and subscribing and shit to the YouTube. Anything you miss is goes up there. This show will be up tomorrow afternoon sometime. All the VODs from my other campaign, my Sunday night campaign, available on the YouTube as well. links in the chat there. It's also in the description below, as is everything else. Donations, subs, all that sort of shit. It's all down below. Go check it out. Schedule's down there as well. Tomorrow morning, guys, make sure you come back and check us out. We're doing the Bowl Show first inaugural episode. Malice and myself will be here shooting the shit about goth culture, about music, about horror, about movies, about gaming, D&D, pretty much
D&D
everything,
as well,
just about everything that's sort of close to our hearts as what we consider to be alternatives. We're not normies, as much as I hate labels, but we're considered the not normal people in the world. We like the darker things of life.
You
So
gotta put a label on.
so definitely come and check that out.
Shoved in lockers and called freaks, so you know.
Pretty much all the ones that are persecuted at high school called nerds and freaks and whatever else. It will be available on podcast. Malice will have those links at some stage for me, so I can have those put up in the description.
Starting out when we first start uploading, what'll happen is the initial podcast will only be available on anchor.fm. Generally speaking, within a week to 2 weeks, you'll start seeing us cropping up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and about 9 other different platforms that nobody gives a shit about.
But yes, I will get the links to the main sort of 3 or 4 and have those in the Discord and on the description at some point. So just keep an eye out for that. But it will be available on podcast.
I have a mixer question.
Yes.
And stuff. Six says, have you guys played D&D Neverwinter? Not like the tabletop, but still fun.
Yes, I have.
I
I
dedicated
loved.
years of my life
Yeah,
to
I
game on
loved
Xbox.
Neverwinter. An amazing
I
game.
spent plenty of money on
Years
shit
of
in
my
that game.
life.
Does anybody want to do a Vampire the Masquerade campaign?
Dude, honestly, we're the group that I play my homebrew campaign with. We have the source books, or the source book, and we are looking into it. But man, it is involved. It is way more involved than 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
It is very like there's no miniatures or anything like that. So there's no battle map or stuff like that. But it's all theory of the mind. It's all very much on the storyteller. But even the character creation is so involved, like really involved. I would be definitely keen to play in that. I don't think I'd want to storytell it.
I'd be into playing, not fucking running it. Fuck that.
I know my brother's considering doing being a storyteller for that, but I think for that, if we were doing that, I think we've already got a full set of players for that one. But it's something definitely I'll be looking into. If we can find someone that's willing to storytell it, I'd be keen to play, definitely.
Oh, man.
It's
I'll look into
really
it.
involved.
I don't really want to storytell it, but I'll look into it.
Well, the thing is that, and it's the same thing from a DM's perspective. DMing there's a lot involved in DMing. I mean, you've got even if you've got a module like I've got all the information in front of me here for this module. Like, there's a lot of information there, but like today, for example, just to give you guys a little bit of context into how even a module works. The book has paragraphs of information for each room, and they have a base story. I've ad-libbed almost everything I told you today. The conversation you had with the kids, completely ad-libbed. The information that you got in the journal pages, pulled it out of my ass in the moment, basically. No worries, Savage. You have a good one, bud.
You guys.
Take care, my friend.
See you, man.
So a lot of that stuff I'm now going to have to remember and write down, so I can, just in case I have to reference it later. So that I even go back and rewatch the VODs and take notes myself, so that in case there's something I've missed, or in case there's something that I've ad-libbed or improved that I need to remember for later on. So I use the VODs to write the recaps. Like, I'll put the VOD on in the background and I'll just start listening to it, and then I'll start writing the recap based on what I remember and altering it as we sort of go through. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, obviously, as a DM. Like I said, you've seen the maps.
Sure.
You've seen the maps that I've sort of been giving you guys which have been
A lot of
cropped down.
background work.
It's just been like I'll take a room that might have an encounter in it, and I need to show you the room without showing you the rest of the map. So I'll take it into Affinity and crop it all down and blur out the things I don't want you to see and stuff like that. So I'll be doing that with the basement over the next week, because I didn't expect you guys to get there so quickly, but at the same time, it's actually been kind of cool.
So that's the second week in a row that you've said that you didn't expect.
Well,
us to get to where
I
we
knew
got
where you
so
were going.
quickly.
Like I said, I knew where you were going, but I didn't expect you to get to the basement until the end, like right at the end of the show. Like it was a little quicker than I expected. But in saying that, I knew exactly where you were going, because everything that you were doing was pushing you in that direction anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything you guys did was pushing you towards the kid's bedroom and pushing you towards finding the secret door. Because once you're in the kid's bedroom, knowing how you were going to be with the kids, Malice, I knew that they would give you the information that you needed. If it had been anyone else talking to them, they probably wouldn't have told you. Purely because of how things happened at the start of the house. You know what I mean? Like, they have an interaction with certain people, and they generally choose not to speak to that person again. So if Grim had been the one going into the room and attempting to get the information out of them, they probably would not have been as receptive, because of the intimidating presence that he has. Not that he's a bad person, it's just that he has that air about him. He's bigger, he's an orc. They've never seen an orc, they've never seen an elf either, but you've covered up. They don't see your ears. To them, you look human.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that perspective, that's why they reacted the way they did with you.
Yeah, for sure.
So these are things that all sort of factor into what happens.
Just a heads up. So I went Grave Domain. So I've got Domain Spells, Circle of Mortality, and Eyes of the Grave.
Cool. Did you get a heal spell with that? You should still have heal spells available, I think.
Yeah, there was something
Cure
that mentioned
wounds.
heal spells in there. That something because of this, like I get like a certain bonus on heal spells.
Yeah, let's have a look here.
Which is the eyes. I think it's the Eyes of the Grave. So
Eyes of the Grave
level.
allows you to see undead, I think.
Yeah, it allows me to see undead. So which one was it?
Hang on, let's have a look here. So let's have a look at your spells. Manage spells. So you've still got to add your spells yet. You still got... No, you don't. You don't have any more spells yet. Not till 3rd level.
Ooh.
And I'm looking at the wrong fucking character. God damn it. I was looking at Dastak, not Garrus. It's like, oh crap, you don't have any healing spells. It's like, hang on a minute, that's the ranger spells. Karis, here we go.
Well, while we're on it, we're all together. Might as well look at it.
So if we go to your spells, so you got Spear of the Dying, which is a cantrip you get. So what Spear of the Dying does is that you can touch a living creature that has 0 hit points and stop them from taking death saves. So it basically stabilizes them. So it's not a heal, but it is a way of stabilizing someone who's become unconscious.
Okay.
So as a cleric, you do need to choose some spells. So if you go to the spells and then hit the Manage Spells button on the right-hand side, you'll see no one's spells under cleric, because you'll now have 2 lots of spells. You've got Warlock, which you'll have to redo because we have reset your whole thing. So I think you had...
Yay.
I'll redo those because I know exactly what you had.
Okay.
You had Eldritch Blast as a cantrip, and you had Toll the Dead. And as your known spells, we had, I believe you had Dissonant Whispers.
Healing Word?
Healing Word is one that you'll need, or as a healing spell. Hellish Rebuke was the other one. So yeah, so if you go to known spells under cleric, if you click on the one that says you filter by spell level, if you click on 0 first, it'll show you the cantrips, because you're able to have 3 cantrips as a cleric.
Okay.
So you have 3 cantrips there. So you got Guidance, which is a buff for yourself and for other people.
Okay.
So is Resistance. You have Spear of the Dying, which you touch. That's the one that allows you to stop someone from actually dying. Like
Okay,
it's
so I just
stabilized.
learn that.
You don't need to
So I
learn
can
it.
have
It's
3 of these,
you've
right?
already got that. Don't learn it. You already
Oh.
have Spear of the Dying as a it's part of your death domain cleric. So unselect that one. You'd
Yeah,
probably
okay.
out of that you'd probably want to go with guidance or
Wounds?
resistance. I'd go with the 0 first, just your cantrips. So
Yeah,
click
that's what
on.
I'm on 0.
So you have
Wait, nope,
guidance,
no,
light,
okay, here we go.
mending. So I would go with guidance first as a buff, because that helps people
Okay.
with. So you touch a willing creature once before the spell ends, the target can roll add a D4 to any skill check, basically. Resistance is very similar. It adds a D4. You can add a D4 to a saving throw, so that's always a good one to have as well. You already have Spear of the Dying. You've already got Toll the Dead. I would
I got
if
Toll of the Dead through the Warlock.
yep. So I would, if I was you, the way I would do it, I'd run Guidance or Resistance, one of the two, not both. Sacred Flame and Word of Radiance. Those would be the 3 cantrips I would choose in this respect.
All right, got him.
Then if you uncheck 0 and check first, and you get to choose 2 of those spells.
Okay.
So again, you've already got Bane as part of your
Yep.
dark the death domain. Bless is another one that gives a buff to everybody, which gives them an extra roll on attacks and saves. So Bless is always a good one to have. And then
Yeah,
Cure
grab that.
Wound. And then I would go Cure Wounds or Healing Word.
Yeah.
Healing
So what's
Word.
the difference between Healing Word and
So Cure Wounds is a touch, and it's 1d8 plus your your spellcasting ability. So for you as a cleric, it will be Wisdom, I believe.
Mhm.
So it'll be 1d8 plus 1. Your Healing Word is a creature of your choice you can see within range. So one's a touch, one's a ranged. The ranged one does less healing, but you can cast it at range without having to touch them, and it's 60 feet. And that will go up as you go up in levels, because you'll get it at higher levels.
Yeah, that'd be better. All right, got
So
that one.
okay, so
All right.
you're all good. So you've got 2 prepared spells out of that.
Yep. It's because I'm just noticing that I'm just thinking that eventually at some point in this we're gonna need somebody that does healing, because we're not gonna be able to do long rest all the time.
Yes.
So
I mean, you do
I just
have
figured
have some healing potions and stuff, but yeah, having a healer
Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
is a really good idea.
Yeah, we
So
did.
yeah. So I did that because I figured in the next level up, I'll level up on Warlock
Yeah.
again. So, I
So
can get
now
the ones that I
essentially you
wanted
get a
off of that.
choice. Yeah. Essentially every time you level now you get a choice. So every level you get, you can choose to put a level in Warlock or a level in Cleric. It's up to you.
Yep. So
So
yeah,
that's
I'm
that
glad I
done.
mentioned that before we finished it, because I would have just left it as it was. But the thing was like, wait, no, we need a healer. We need somebody that's going to, you know.
It certainly helps. Death, you got something to say?
Oh no.
No?
I'm
I thought
fine.
you were trying to chime in there again.
I'm good. I'm just agreeing. I'm
I'm
just
glad
like,
we
yeah.
made it as far as we did without one. You know.
Well,
Shit.
the thing is that, like I said, the Durst Manor is not designed to kill you outright. It's designed to get you to level 3. There is milestones. Obviously, finding the secret room to the basement is your first milestone, which is why you got level 2. The milestone to get you to level 3 is getting out of the house, essentially. So to get to level 3, you have to get out of the house. There are options to getting out of the house, and whatever option you take will determine how the story goes moving forward as well. So that's where the replayability of Curse of Strahd comes into it, because each group might take a different option to getting out of the house and change how things happen. So
Yeah. Right.
but yeah,
That's
so
exciting.
level 2 guys, we start at level 2 next week. We should probably raid someone as well. Let's see who's on. Are you continuing to stream, Twin, or are you done?
I think we're all. I'm gonna pop off.
You're gonna pop off?
I'm tired.
Malice, you
And
gonna
hungry.
continue or
I'm,
you done?
I'm gonna pop off for a little bit because I'm gonna eat, and then I'm gonna
Okey
come
dokey.
back in like 20-30 minutes.
I mean,
so.
we can't raid Mixer, but we can go over and chuck Death Whale some love anyway. But we
Oh, yeah.
should see who is on.
I'm still gonna be on, but I'm gonna eat on stream because I'm a fat ass.
Fair enough too.
I just have to switch from stream elements to Streamlabs.
No,
Yeah.
no problem. I will definitely
Why
come
are
back.
you switching between them?
Because I haven't set up stream elements yet.
When do you want to work on that?
I don't even know right now. Like I have to transfer all of my images and stuff. I'm still working on different layouts and stuff like that.
Let's check out D&D. Who else is streaming on D&D? Someone with low viewer count.
I'm surprised at how much D&D has gone up.
Dungeons and
on the live
Dragons is
stream thing.
taken off, dude. Like, seriously.
That's good.
Right, so we got an all-girls D&D stream here by the looks of this. Check these guys out. See if how far they're through. Might raid them.
Yay, ads.
Yes, got to get through the ads first. It's all part of it.
At least it's Al
Of
Pacino.
course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't run ads on my D&D streams, but I probably should during the break.
I don't run ads at the beginning at all. I just do. I'm just happy to.
They've been streaming for 40 minutes, so we're gonna raid these guys.
Okay.
What's the name, Evil?
It is stream. Where is it? SW Gaming Society.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to my stream manager. I'm gonna copy and paste because I'm lazy. Copy.
I'm just gonna do a host, not a raid, because.
Pasta. Right, we're going to end our stream here, then I'll set the raid going. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with us. Again, thank you to players.
Yeah, we'll go throw them a host, too.
And we will see you all tomorrow morning for the podcast talk show / thing, the bowl show. Same
It's
time.
gonna be fun. Be there. Or be a normie.
Yeah.
Malice, if I can get you to hang around on Discord for like 5 minutes after,
Yeah, I
and
can
Skype
come
for
live
5
all-
minutes so I can set your cam up in the other overlay.
True.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna dip
so
out
thanks
and stuff
guys.
on the
We will
Switch
see you
Good night, guys.
later.
Thank you for the funds. For the
Later.
hangs.